Okay, you'll take care.
Welcome to TCH Live. We are here at TCH Social in Austin, Texas. I'm Kyle Frisbee, joined by Uncle T in the booth.
Yo,
How are you today, sir?
I'm good.
We've got our 5-5 uncapped game. Been uncapped for a few weeks now, so this has been some pretty high stakes.
No. I was just going to ask you.
And we'll jump straight into the action with a bomb pot, as is customary to start things
You're
off.
all good. You're good on your bet.
And Manny, off to a hot start. He's flopped top set on the top board.
And we got 3 jacks for Mike.
You're good.
Trips for Mike. New York Mike. I told him he's representing the Boomers tonight, so do well. Looks like diamonds.
That's not the only thing he's going to do.
Diamonds, 5 diamonds for JY.
Kevin with the second best jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to be looking for a friend, he and Mike.
Yeah,
Not the big stream, the 5,000, 10,000, not the 25, 50, 100.
And he's coming out hard. Kevin
I
raised
think I've played
250
three.
with
I've
his
actually
second
played, I
best
think,
jack.
One time when it was like
He
10,
does have a
25,
queen
one time
on the
25,
top
50,
board.
one time 50, 100.
Yeah,
He hit an 8.
I played 25, 50.
Yeah, actually, he needs a lot
Yeah,
of
he
help
has-
on the top board.
He needs help on the top board, but he does have ways to scoop.
Second diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got 9, 10
You're
open-ended,
about to buy it for 10,000.
as well as the diamond draw,
Ego, man.
as well as queens for
I
Manny.
thought Doug was
Yeah,
playing.
the
So,
ten of hearts.
900.
Neither made the.
that's why I'm buying it for 10K.
Kevin comes out super hard for 950.
And I think Manny's just got to repot this. He still has the nuts on the top board,
Yeah, he does.
but it's a very scary, wet,
We need to ask
dynamic
for the
board.
waitress to come by, or-
Only has a 3 on the bottom, doesn't it?
Oh,
Well,
okay,
no,
yeah.
doesn't have the clubs.
Imagine Manny's considering potting this.
Yeah, I don't know. Does the flush
He
beat a
is
trade
out
or-
of there.
Wow. Just didn't like not having something on the bottom board.
Oh,
did have a
probably
win
going to take it
now,
I
down.
would have,
but-
man, I would have messed up. I would have thought it was the other way.
Gotta get this out of the way.
I mean, he missed his ass me.
Oh, yeah.
See if Manny's queens,
Could you
set of
fill this
queens,
up with water?
excuse me, would have held up.
He's from Dallas. He's gonna ask for a lot.
Mike's bemoaning
I
that
gotta
he
fill it
doesn't have
full.
anything on the top board either.
Of course. You already know.
I'm going to Dallas in 3 weeks.
Kevin definitely has the best two-way hand. Had from the beginning.
Yeah, if,
And
the
unfortunately,
TCH over there
the
and
3-4
like,
has neither is an overcard to all 3 of his
I've never been to
danglers here, so he has a lot of ways
That's
to
where I
float up.
mostly
You don't believe me?
Los Colinos.
You like said you don't believe me.
I thought that you said that you
No, Dallas. Not the Los Colinos. There's 2 in Dallas, right?
Mike, being a big-time bomb pot player, gives it up. I mean, it's not a bad fold. It's a long-term winning fold, but
Bigger than
a less losing fold.
yeah, it's
I am very
like a
surprised
bigger
Manny
room,
having a nuts on the
and way nicer, and that's for like all the big games.
I guess he didn't want to start off with bomb pots for his night.
Yeah, the
Such
TCH
a-
Dallas, like the old location,
Started
was like
yeah.
1-2 and like
Yeah, it's,
1-2, 10 kilo, whatever.
The downside probably outweighed the
Yeah,
upside there. If you
yeah, the
stuff
5,
in
10 quarter
3K and get rivered there in the very first hand, your night's just kind of going to be a long scramble back.
They said, let's try it out over there. Let's go challenge it.
And those really good bomb pot players are thinking about how much are they really playing for. I'm risking 950 to win how much? You know, there's 250 pre-flopped. So
Gee, so you picked that.
I
Why would you fold?
don't know if you were serious or
That's the nuts.
That's the absolute nuts up there.
25.
Raise.
But you weren't that far ahead.
Were you worried about flush draw or?
There was a flush draw that came on the turn.
all right. So Dante with $5,000 in front of him to start off the night, so one of the big stacks. KY had 3,000 to start. Manny's got 3,000 in front of him. Again, this is an uncapped game. Dante starting off aggressive, out of position. Benji's probably going to Benji, a new player to our stream, a Dallas player. Very glad to have it. Probably going to make this call.
I had 8 jacks.
He obviously had a jack.
He had some
Yeah,
jack.
queens. He
He
obviously
had
had
a
a
jack.
jack.
He might have some
Dante doesn't have any problem playing
Right off the bat.
7 Austin.
Right off the bat.
Let's get the action
Dante
started.
does like to announce his presence with authority early.
Yeah.
Three-handed, I'm finding the top
And flush draw for Benji, one of the best flops he could have seen other than flopping a boat.
You make a lot. You have the nuts. You're expected to draw.
You had the nuts at the time, but you could have gotten drawn.
I believe he's going to go for a check raise here.
Yeah, Dante repping a big pair may give him a little pause.
Queen 7 low.
Just flats.
Yep.
Calling's fine too.
That looks red, but it's not the right red.
2 diamonds on
That
the
pair on the board might give Benji a little bit of problem too, because yeah, and he checks it back. So this is first one to bet wins probably.
Yeah, 730 in the middle and nobody with a pair.
backdoor flush draw and he was going.
This is where the under the gun is in pretty good position because he's playing a big blind and he makes a value bet.
Not sure how much history Benji can consider with a paired board. The we got the pre-tip out.
And Dante's giving him the
So I'm like,
yeah, he's done that to me so many times.
I'm like, you're gonna try to fight.
Benji really considering this call. He only has to be right a small-ish percent of the time, and Dante's going to show the bluff.
This is what Dante does. I mean, you play with him, I play with him. This is what he does.
I
He's
think
setting
Dante,
himself up.
Dante would have almost preferred that hand than getting aces and doubling up.
supposed to
percent.
Yeah.
I wanted to bluff with the
Loves that spot. So Kevin and Dante are 2 winners after 3 hands. Or, well, 2 hands. Third, you know. I think now with this uncapped structure, we've got probably 2 to 3 times.
I wanted to
Yeah, I
I had one of the
agree.
worst hands possible to call, so.
Yeah,
Up
as
in
you
the
can
chat.
see across here, Benji came in heavy at 5,000. Kevin's got 5,000 that he started with Dante. That right there is the starting for a normal 2-5 for the whole table, 15 grand. You know, a little bit less. I guess that's a little bit more if they all come in for 2.5.
Yeah, a little more.
It's really gonna bother me.
Although we do that people with 1,500 on the table. So this is not going to play like a 2-5 game or a 5-5 game. It's a little bigger.
Somewhere around 510, 1020.
Last week it was there.
Which for Texas,
Yeah, for Texas.
1025 for
Raise
for
35.
Vegas.
Fold 4.
Kevin with a couple of 9s on the button. He'll pop it up.
I wonder.
Call 8. Fold 9. Heads
Had
up.
to, had to be a ring or so, a watch.
We'll get a call from Manny with 6-2 suited. Manny will flop a pair, but 9s are still good here. And Manny's going to donk lead. Usually these donk leads represent a top or middle pair,
They're doing high hands.
top pair, weak kicker, or middle pair.
So it's over. I think this is the last hour.
115.
In this case, bottom pair. Kevin sniffing it out. He's going to go ahead and raise and take it. Nice raise by Kevin there. Going to
Kevin
find
being
out.
Kevin.
Going to find out right then if Manny actually has a king and takes that one down.
Straddle is on live 10. $10 shot.
Yeah.
Well, God, why I got one that I wanted to give tips.
Well, we welcome all of you that are chatting into the chat here. We'd like to see some comments. We always appreciate the back and forth. It's a beautiful night in Austin, and we appreciate you spending your evening with us. Even if you're working on the computer and watching in the background or
They're coming.
whatever,
Yeah,
get
what
a
a,
chance, chat away.
what a difference a couple days makes when we were here
Yeah.
Monday night. Pretty nasty weather outside, and today
Although I love the rain in Texas in May, we got to get it.
just about perfect. Yeah, I love to see the rain. And we got a couple of kings here for Mike.
First big pair. I guess we had queens earlier, but that was on bomb pot. Went without a lot of big pairs the other night. We were talking about that during the stream.
Yeah, it's amazing the variance. Just one stream, seeing all players' hands to the other.
Last week,
Mike gonna make it quite big here. He's gonna put in 25-30% of his stack here.
Benji coming in for 130, and Mike came over the top immediately.
You're not like that at it.
Benji's got to be thinking, what is with these people?
Does have the button.
Yeah. I guess it's right, yeah.
He'll make the call. See if Mike can fade the ace on the flop. And Benji is going to flop a gutter ball to the wheel and does have backdoor hearts. And Mike quickly checks.
There's not.
I think Benji's probably going to take a free turn card here, or not.
It's not. Someone's coming.
Seat 4, 250.
Probably going to try to get Mike off a hand like ace king.
Raise, seat 1, 500.
And Mike was setting up the insta.
I mean, they were like, yeah.
Looks like min
check
raise.
check raise. I don't know if he checked pre-flop on the other one. I know Benji did come in for 130.
Yeah, and Benji can't fold for that price.
No. So we got a big pot brewing.
Bet. All in.
Just a snap all in. Mike's like, you're not going to get any straight here. Although it's a rainbow board, he doesn't have to worry about the flushes.
Yeah, and Mike fades the snap, so knows he's ahead.
725 to Benji.
725.
Darren asked, why on earth did he check there? I think being a little bit trappy.
Yeah, very much. That's kind of what Mike does. If he feels like the table's a little bit aggressive, he'll check his big hand and then come over the top of him. It's an effective technique.
I forget last time we talked, but yes, I went there like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, good.
And I'm going there this weekend.
Really?
Benji
Yeah.
getting huge odds. This is a perfect example of how to figure out what percent you have to win. So if you see the top, Benji has 6 outs, 1 card to come, so you double it.
Oh, where you go?
So he's got 12%.
Oh, I like that.
If this was on the flop, you could double that again to 24%. Would be your equity.
Yeah, I got
Great way to figure out where you're at when you don't have graphics.
Did you go to the dunes over there?
No. I went to, no.
That's it.
There's some good soft shell crab in Pismo Beach.
Kings.
We had that one place that had.
And
like,
Mike shows him.
powders.
So he's gotten shown both times. He's gone all the way down to showdown and folded. Once bluff and once.
So many good turns for me, but not
Yeah,
the
but
6
like,
o'clock.
so, yes,
So many
you
good
do.
turns for me, but not the 6
Also, I'm
o'clock.
going to go to the
Benji's
airport
like,
on Saturday and see
hey, I'm
$10
5
travel.
hands, 4 hands into this, and I'm down
I just imagine it's going to be a
1.4.
lot of people begging with TSA and like slowing the line down. It could be bad.
Yeah, not the start he wanted, but long way to go here. We'll be with you till 10 o'clock Central.
Yeah,
I don't even, yeah, we don't even.
but I'm gonna. But like, I didn't
Definitely
get the
seen
real
folks
ID, so I
go
gotta
from
bring
worst
my
to
passport.
first. And
Oh, yeah, we had that the other night.
yeah, happens quick.
Seat 1. Raise, seat 2, 35. Fold 4.
I've also seen players sun run from start to finish, so
Yeah,
Never know.
Manny did that for the better part of that session.
yeah,
Monday
of
night.
Monday. Yeah, Manny had a great night Monday.
He's gonna bump this up.
Seat 8, 100.
Kevin playing his king 10 is dominated with the ace king. See why I might consider. I don't think Dante a call. He might. It's Dante. But we have got Broadway everywhere.
Somewhat of a smallish 3-bet. I think he's might just get called by everyone.
Yeah.
Kevin, yeah, Kevin cold calls with King 10 suited in the hijack.
4 players.
So I don't. That's going to give Dante and JY,
Yeah.
excuse me, a price to call.
I
almost.
guarantee you Kevin thought about that. He goes, this
Automatically.
pot is going to get called. And we have the board you kind of expect with showing or with the holdings.
Yeah, everybody kind of blocking each other. So ace king's still good for Manny.
And the guarantee right now, Dante's thinking about the fact that this is his board more than other people's boards. Might rep that. And Manny makes the bet and gets Kevin to fold. And 2 more folds.
Yeah, nicely played by Manny.
So I like to see.
Yep, pre-flop aggressive.
Jagging a pot.
He did pick up some hands, but he played well on Monday as well.
Yeah, he
So
did.
I think he won somewhere in the neighborhood of 3K, 3,500 maybe.
Yeah. With a, yeah, he
In a
had
smaller game.
almost 5 and started with 500 because that was a 1-2-5 hold'em layout. If you missed it Monday night, we had a blast. The table was just hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
And they were playing a VPIP game where they kicked somebody off the island when they had the lowest VPIP, but that really didn't drive the action. It was just crazy from the beginning.
Yeah,
5 out of the
That's
first
game.
eight hands had all ins. And it was that way all night.
Live 10 from seat 9. $10 straddle. Call seat 1. Raise seat 2. 50. Fold 4. Fold 5. Fold 6.
Kevin's just picking up. This last time we played Kevin.
Kevin balancing his 3-betting range, or excuse me, actually this is just a raise. But he's going to raise up a suited connector.
We'll order in a little while.
Caleb,
All right.
suited 2 gappers out of there.
Call.
Michael make a call.
Oh yeah.
Playing with a
Likes
little
his
early
broad
profit.
raise.
Do you have a menu by chance? Thank you.
Yoink.
And
Boink.
that would be an optimal flop for Kevin. Trips. Nothing for Mike. We'll see how Kevin wants to play this.
Like 4 out of 5 hands were pretty crazy.
Bet seat 2. 45. Fold 1.
Quick fold from Mike, so Kevin will take that down. Probably a little disappointed not to get more value.
Well, that's our Mikey. He's not indecisive. He doesn't have card funerals. He did a little bit on the bomb pot because he had a real tough decision to make. You know, his nice ace jack
Thank
good.
you.
But when he's decided in his mind, I love playing with Mike. He does not waste your time.
I had it.
He definitely had that check raise into chamber
I can't remember
Yeah,
how
he did.
as one of the quickest I've ever seen.
Yes,
And he'll have a suited king queen, very playable.
very
You
playable.
didn't.
He raised his
There was nothing on.
early position
2
immediately.
bit 9-7. You're like, why are you playing 9-7 also?
Dante's going to play
I get it, but
in the middle of his range. 5-4
see
unsuited,
him play
and
the
he's going to
shitty
play.
cards.
Raise seat 8. 80.
Hey, he actually raises it, doubles the bet. To 80, a little over double.
Call seat 1.
Yeah, always.
And a really great flop for Mike, just as good as he could hope for. 2 diamonds and the top pair with a really good kicker. Everybody's going to fold to this one, I think.
Yeah, Manny does have a gutter. I wouldn't be too surprised if he peels.
Maybe stick around for 1 card.
Well, then again, I do live there too, so I guess.
No improvement there
But
from Manny.
I haven't.
Really a total blank on the turn. So
150.
Mike will keep the pressure up. Go for some additional value. Pretty small here.
Did you try the biscuits?
Manny trying to decide how much he can get paid off if he hits that miracle 10.
I had it like one time on the stream. And I was,
Yeah, I
and I'm a diabetic, so my sugar's like.
Oh yeah.
So I'm here jamming into you.
Yeah.
Did I freak you out if I jammed?
Manny out of
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, Mike's starting off pretty hot.
The Lost Queen is one, not the Dallas.
Yeah, up to nearly 3K in just a few hands.
Really good, right? Yeah, I saw you with a big fat.
Should be leading our board right now. Up almost 1,000. Kevin's up a little bit. Dante's up a little bit. And that bluff on Benji. Benji down
I
1.4.
bowed out.
Oh, I don't know if it was crazy, but
Once again, folks, this is TCH Social Austin live stream 5-5 uncapped game.
Live 10. Live
Beautiful Wednesday night. I'm here with the partner Whammo, the best looking commentator in Texas. You're attractive, man. I gotta tell
You're going to start off the stream lying to everybody.
No, buddy. You know, I'm just saying you be very popular in prison.
Oh God, you went from such a high to such a low in such a short amount of time.
You got get the big head.
Steady with tens here. Steady. First hand, he's electing to VPIP.
You want the Knicks? I'll take the Celtics.
I want the Celtics.
And he's going to get 3-bet by Dante.
I tried.
Dante,
I played it before.
I don't bet.
Dante sort of flavored hand.
Lane's
And
I like them.
Look for Dante to take this one away.
Yeah,
potentially.
this is
Although,
Yes.
really glad Steady didn't check that scary board. That favored his range, and Dante agreed.
You know, I thought
There.
Guys, oh yeah. We're doing bomb
I mean,
Carlos,
they're-
you know,
they're hot.
we just thank God for Alfred.
Somebody asked me, I said, if the Knicks played like they played against Detroit,
I'll get Steady into the green up a little bit.
okay, but they played like against Detroit in the first
Yeah, I
half.
thought Dante might have kind of torn the range Eddie there, but Eddie didn't. You know, it was a feeler bet, a little bit of a what am I at?
If Steady checks that block two overs, Dante's bet frequency is 100%.
100.
So it was very smart by Steady to go ahead and have their representative.
And those two sit those
Bang
two
a wall on one side.
all the time. They used to be next to each other. They know each other very well. I pretty much guarantee that's exactly what you say. Steady's like, I can't check this.
Yeah, you know, it is odd that they do draw for seat, for the seating arrangement for the stream, but it does seem like we get a lot of folks in the same seats.
All you got to do is bribe the dude with the cards. Tell him you're going to send him on a Christmas bouquet or something. No, I think the earlier you get here, the little more likely you are to get the seat that you want. Nothing much for anybody. I see 8-9 is the nuts on bottom for Kevin, which is not a bad holdings on top either. 9-10 I don't see anywhere. Tens are covered up by Manny, so he's got a set on that board.
Yeah, Manny popping top set for a second time.
I'll do it on sourdough.
The Knicks had 3 points, and now they're at 0.
NG with the best spade draw. Kevin blocking the nut spade draw.
And the nines are gone, so
It was just
there's just no chance of really filling in that trade on the top. So clubs are a little bit more likely. Doesn't look like ace of clubs is Manny's hand, 9-5 and J-Wade's hand, which is never a comfortable feeling. And now Broadway gets there with ace 10 for Mike.
Manny fills up, so he's
Manny's got ace 10, and he's got all this board. He's got nuts on top and nuts on bottom.
I'd
Second
love to
nuts,
see
really,
Manny not full pot it, build a little more of a pot, and then go for the jugular on the river. We'll see what he decides to do after JY acts here.
And Mike does bet his Broadway, so he's going to get maybe another 100 out of JY, although this is hard for him to call.
I'd love to see Manny make it like 250, maybe.
JY's 9-8
Or
is no
flat.
good
I think
on the bottom.
I think flatting's good too.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, no,
Maybe 300.
yeah.
I love
That's
this.
exactly right.
Yeah, doesn't go too big. He's just trying to build a pot.
Thank you.
Yeah, he half pots it. I think it'll get JY out of there because of his holdings, but Mike's not going anywhere, and he's going to get quartered.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Does not really have a redraw.
Oh, Mike is going
Mike's
to
got
pot.
the boat. Mike's got the boat on bottom too, 10-7. Oh, they both. And he's going
Oh,
to get.
Mike's about to get coolered.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice the 10-7. I was so focused on Manny's 10s. The clubs did get there for JY.
Better boat. Dang.
Ooh, wow. Nice hand, dude.
All right, we've got
Both of them are nice.
over here. 10s, 7s.
Yeah, so
and then
Manny's going to get
you have
3/4 of a $6,300 pot, just under that number.
Yeah, I was so focused on the ace 10 and the 10s, I did not even notice that Mike had the 10-7 till the very end.
It's coming for like a hand
I'm
top.
sure, he's counting on that being second nut boat. You know, with the 7, he knows the quads are not out there. So the only thing that beats him are 10s.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, second nut boat. I mean,
That's
a rough.
just a
And
cooler
with the nut
for him.
straight, I mean, this Mike made no mistakes here. This is just one of those things that comes up. And I know we're not the fashion police in the booth here, but Manny looks charming tonight.
No, wait a minute.
Give him a little credit. He's got the nice suit on.
Yeah, I told him he looked a little Guido.
All right, 28.
You know, I had to put those
50.
sunglasses on.
You're
and
going to send
he's full.
14.25 over here.
I can't believe you jammed. Yeah.
No, but he didn't do it until.
He could have
Here's the
pocket sevens.
14.25
and
from the
these
outside. Give me a moment to shuffle
Moment
this
to get this pot 3/4 up.
Is Scary Terry joins the table. One of my favorite players in the world. Had a great night the other night, too.
Was a ton of fun to watch play on Monday, and thrilled to see him joining this table at some higher stakes. So,
Yeah.
TM always a thrill to watch play some poker.
This one you don't need.
We showered him with praise on Monday, but just know one of the best players in the Austin area.
I
Great
agree.
results in tournaments, and
Yeah, very
pres-
diverse. He
I
did
presume
cash
cash
and
games.
tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And he's on fire.
you know, I
He's
mean,
on fire.
if you look at this table, you don't see tournament
five.
players. I mean, Kevin, like, he dipped into our
I built my
Crazy Pineapple tournament last night, but does not play a lot of tournament.
So actually,
Play with
I got dirty.
Terry, though, is a very accomplished tournament player. Had a great series this last Trailblazer.
Yeah.
absolutely.
You got a uniform?
Yeah, between here and elsewhere, I'm quite sure he's in the 6 figures in scores already this year, and probably well beyond that I'm not aware of.
Live 10, live 25, double straddle is on.
Double straddle. That's what we like to see. Looks like Benji wasn't afraid to throw in a double straddle there.
Live
Bringing his
25.
Dallas mojo down with him.
Yeah, Vinci definitely doesn't seem afraid to play some pots.
Yeah, if he plays that Dallas game, he can't be.
Raise, C3, 225. C4.
TM, first hand, suited king. Let's raise it up.
All C8. That's up. I see that.
TM 3-betting 225 over the top of Manny. Manny's going to make the call and 2 a flop here. Ooh, TM flopping diamonds.
Not much for Manny. Does have the better hand, but you can see how the equities flipped from 60-40 to 44-56.
140.
Yeah, 11 outs for TM. And
So run through that calculation again for everybody listening.
yeah, so
Equity calculation.
on the flop, if you can estimate your number of outs, you take that number and double it if you're on the turn, and you double that number. So like in this case, 11. Well, it just changed a little bit. So we've got 11 outs coming. And in this case, it's actually triple. This is slightly different than what you would normally see, but typically you would take your number of outs on the turn in this spot and double it, and that's your percentage to win.
Now, not
But-
knowing for Terry, he's not going to put his 7 into his calculation.
Yeah, you wouldn't typically account, the 7 probably wouldn't be in there.
So we're talking about a max calculated equity.
Well, and you're
then you
estimating
adjust.
it in your hand if
Yeah.
maybe you decide that only a diamond or a king is good. And I think Manny's probably got to bow out here. TM continuing to bet his big draw.
Yeah, tell him the story. Nice consistent play by Terry. Wouldn't expect anything less. And he's not showing.
And that's how you sit down and win a $1,200 pot with no pair.
Yeah, yeah. But the best hand. Not the best hand from a stone cold get to the end standpoint, but by far the best draws. And
We have a live 10. We have a live 25.
that's why that's a good conversation or a good example of why you bet your draws when they're strong.
Yeah, when you
As soon as that
when you
flop hits.
have that huge of a draw, you can somewhat bet or semi-bluff with some impunity.
Like we were talking about the other night, there's nothing better than when your bluff turns into the best hand on the river.
Only time you have to adjust that is you do have to consider your semi-bluff. If you're sure your opponent's never folding, then you got to try to figure out what percentage chance you have to win. So you do have to make adjustments, but in that case, TN played it essentially perfectly.
Dante just smooth call with nines.
And Benji about to raise this up.
I have to ask Dante. Maybe he doesn't like nines.
Raise. 4, 3, 25.
Oh, Dante actually is in the $25 straddle, it appears.
Ah,
So
that's
that-
right. They double straddle.
Wow, Dante out of there.
Gives it up. He doesn't like the nines.
Danny now with King Queen, and
Dominated.
that's a big 3-bet from Benji.
Yeah, Benji may be wondering at this point if he can win a hand against these guys and wants to put one in his back pocket just to break the mojo.
Good fold from Manny.
Yep.
Was
Finally won a
dominated.
hand.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, I think you nailed that, Uncle T. I think he went a little bigger there just to put one in.
Oh, I've done that so many times. It's a very, you find yourself wondering, where are the snakes that keep biting me in the ankles here? And I'll get heavy-handed with the hand just to break through a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Just clear. It's like a mental flush,
It's a little bit like golfers or basketball players. Like sometimes you just need to see one go in the hole.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to see some chips pushed your way and
Break open the
get a little momentum.
Knock the dam down.
$10 straddle.
For any poker nerds out there, we know there's no such thing as momentum in this game, but
No.
it can affect your psyche and maybe some of your decision making.
The women in my life are always talking about positive attitude and how you can not speak things into existence like a manifestation, but that that positivity does affect outcomes. And there was a guy back in the 50s who wrote a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. He was particularly in the sales world. And that positive attitude projected onto others when you interact counts for something.
Absolutely. No, 100%. Agree with that. Yeah, it's not that the positive thinking changes the outcome. It's how the positive thinking changes your behavior that affects the outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Top pair here for Dante. Monotone board. All clubs. Nobody with a club. Manny, no draw, no real hope here, and he's out of there.
I think it's also an aspect of protection of confidence. That at the poker table, confidence counts for a lot. If you're sitting there, kind of looking like a funeral director, somber, quiet, that's fine. But I know when I see a player go, oh my gosh, what do I'm thinking to myself, that's going to affect my betting against that person right now. Because I'm seeing their range open up, their frustration causing them to make bad decisions. How do I take advantage of it? There's nothing better than the opposite of that when you just feel steamy and then somebody throws you aces. And you know you're going to appear to look steamy with what your actions.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the other side of the coin. Yeah, I think that another example might be, if somebody has a defeatist attitude, they get king, flop comes out ace high, and they just immediately are like, well, of course, and they've already lost. And they're like, well, kings are still ahead a good percentage of the time.
Yeah.
So, they might be a little too quick to fold, or maybe
call.
not bet the pot.
Do you guys actually spend real money to get
But
this?
that's always my
configuration.
joke about kings is
That's like the number
that
one
mostly
question
on any given
people say
board,
that
there's
actually on
ace comes out
in the stream, in the chat.
14% of
Are
the
they playing
time,
real money?
15%.
I always say no.
Unless you have kings, then it's 90%.
Oh,
No,
right.
they-
always
no,
been,
they
yeah.
love process and we just
90% of my kings
But
get
in
an
the
ace.
early high stakes poker,
3-bet here from Benji. Check 9 suited.
I know, I remember them saying that.
The Steady Eddie's going to outflop everyone. Top pair.
Second pair for Benji. No real backdoors for anybody or straight draws.
Bet seat 5, 175. Full seat 3.
Around a third pot bet from Steady.
Texas toast?
It's like a breakfast sandwich.
To Benji. Yeah, Benji, typically you're going to call at least once when you flop.
Yep.
Middle pair.
Don't give up that middle pair too quick.
Yeah.
It does fill in some broadways, bring the backdoor diamonds in for
I haven't had a bad thing here.
Steady.
I've
So his hand is a little bit stronger. You can see by the equity that it's super strong, in fact. He's going to bet 250.
One thing
Which is
about
a
this
pretty
turn
small
card,
bet, really.
though, this is a turn card that if Benji raises Steady's going to hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot you can envision there. Ace Jack, Ace Queen, Queen Jack, King 10. There's a lot of things.
As played, Benji's out of there, and Steady will win a nice pot, getting him up over 3K.
Ace
I
was
was
good.
really teasing him good last week.
JT says, "How is Mitch doing?"
You know how I
I think Mitch is.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start again?
I am. No, I'm just
Baby.
recapping. I'm recapping. I apologize and I'm recapping.
No, okay, all right.
Those were like,
Yeah.
5 and 5.
He was mad because I called him.
He
Hey,
did.
Manny.
He called me light several
Manny,
times.
Manny.
He was right.
I called him all the way to the river with 8 high and a $2,000 pot, and he had 4. He had a 4, a high 4,
4
and he's
is
still mad
adding
about it.
2,000.
I have heart though.
He rips on the
Yeah,
Like
8 high all the way to the river.
You also had a draw. You had a draw.
No.
You had a draw.
I
That's
had
why you're.
nothing. I had nothing.
combo draw, maybe 2
fold
pairs.
9. Call seat 1.
Limp.
We are not playing the 7 deuce game.
Limp.
We
Raise
have
seat
7
4.
deuce and 7-5 in the hand, and Benji wakes up
Raise
queen.
seat 5.
On the button is a lovely thing.
All around me. You haven't played a
It's
hand
a
yet.
lovely thing anywhere.
Oh, you did play.
Fold 6.
Yeah, Benji kind of had second best a lot tonight so far. Finally wakes up with a monster, and he's going to get 3-bet by Steady. Ace Jack suited. Let's see what Benji wants to do, if he wants to put a 4th bet in or flat.
I think he absolutely has to. I mean, you know, he's got 3rd best starting hand in poker, and the small blind 3-bets him.
Yeah, Queen's also a little more vulnerable post flop than your other big pairs,
There it
obviously.
is. Looks like 450 or 350. Yeah, 350.
And Steady's going to fold here.
That is so strong.
I'm
Now,
guessing.
Steady might talk himself into that, maybe a little bit of a maneuver on the button, but
Nice bet.
you know,
I
you
seem
raise
to
that
only be
hand
able
in
to
that small
win
blind
three flops. I'm
position
just gonna
because you
start
think
raising
somebody may
over.
have just used their position to bet. Throw that bet out there, you find out.
Yeah, you kind of figure. I don't know how much Steady and Benji have played. Some players, you
None,
know,
probably.
might be
Well,
just
you thought-
raising
I
light
just-
there.
you said
It
you
can
would
be you're
normally
raising
fold
light
if
from
you
the
folded that time. Why
button,
would
but not the case there.
Yep.
Oh,
And
okay.
to
Well,
tell
that was
you,
a good fold
it's
this time.
probably if that's Dante,
you
if
got me.
it's Manny,
Yeah.
even if it's Kevin or Terry, they probably call it. Yeah, maybe not. But the more aggressive players, probably with Ace Jack suited, would have said okay.
10.
But that did come across very strong.
Fold 9. Call 1.
It's not Thursday.
Fold 3.
Yeah, not.
Fold 3. Fold 4. Call
Theory would suggest that folks don't 4-bet bluff often enough.
I can give you $20, so you can go ahead and just.
But
JD, I'm not sure who
I
you
mean,
7.
you'll bet 4,000.
yeah, GD, maybe
but
one of the different
extra
TCH
haggling.
locations got a mix. But whoever Mitch is, I'm
TCH
sure he was
Social
great.
Austin. Yeah, I'm sure
Not
Mitch
familiar with
is
Mitch.
great. When you said hi.
Can't call 80.
Call C1.
Also,
I was like, I can't. But no, I checked. I checked.
Check. C6. 4 players.
And an ace does show up. A couple of spades, really strong for Mike. He's got the weak ace. He does know it. He's got the strongest of the 2 aces, but he does have the redraw for the spades. It looks like it's JY though with his king deuce of spades, who's unfortunately going to make a raise here. 175.
Really not what you want to be facing if you're Mike or Steady with a really weak ace.
I won't be here.
Looks like Mike is undeterred.
Well, not with the nut spade draw. He's not going anywhere. Matter of fact, he comes over the top for 600. No, here's some aggression. 500.
I actually like that.
This is real strong. I ain't afraid of much.
Yeah, this is a really nasty spot for JY. He's going to be drawing near dead.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any extra cash?
Raise. All in.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Mike's going to call.
You don't put in a gun.
You're like, hold on 1 second.
Wow, 3,200 and
Ready, run?
Mike has
no, I was
JY in
gonna-
a
if
world
I need to,
record.
I'm
Yeah,
lost.
just dominate 2%. There's the end. That's
And that
it.
is the nuts.
That is over with.
Okay, yeah, just ask me.
Into the spade. And I'm sure JY was thrilled
Oh
to see
yeah, I
that
can do that.
spade.
Too.
Mikey
case.
raked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, with the start so far, I might need it.
No, you're playing good. You just not hitting flop.
Yeah, just kind of a dream spot for Mike. Top pair, nut flush draw.
Yep,
Yeah.
you know,
Gets it all in.
I told Mikey I'd be rooting for him because he was, you know, we wanted to see some boomer magic.
I only,
And honestly, there's essentially no better spot you could be in if you're getting it all in. A lot of times in that configuration, you're ace or maybe a set of 4s.
I think he's seen that JY was
Yeah, you can't
Dante likes him.
nut draw.
but also if you just have king X.
So JY takes a big hit down the 2K.
Mike.
Since the start, Mike jumps up to 1.3 on the clear side.
Yeah, Mike making about 75, 80 bucks a hand.
Yeah,
Pretty good start.
Getting some good hands.
I think I might pull a hamstring here in an hour. If he's
Like
up.
3 hours.
I see
I
Dante's
did it on
doing
Monday
double
night.
duty on the chat.
You're going to gamble your time?
You know, is it not enough to get TV time? You also got to get chat time as well.
That man just loves attention.
He does.
We're kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Sort. He's our buddy. Yeah.
Former commentator. Commentate too much anymore. First man. I don't blame him.
You had the flush draw?
Yeah.
Well, we
top pair
certainly
and-
like having him out there on the felt because he is an active player.
Yeah, and
No, I
more
did.
fun
I heard like 20 people say he had a flush draw, so I just wanted to hear one more
Appears he may have actually trimmed the beard.
No one said
too.
top pair though.
Yeah, you
I
it's a
said
little more
top pair. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
said
got a
the
little more of a
edges, yeah.
V-ish shape.
Yeah,
edges.
it's a
Oh,
little
I
more
meant on the
earthy
flop.
Adams,
On
a
the
little less biker gang, you know, a little less
That'd be hard to do, have top 2 and a flush draw.
Lords of Dogtown look, you know, like maybe he's a former skater or something.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
Did you go too small in the tournament?
I guess you could do it on a turn. You can't do it on the flop.
I guess in a smaller like that guy was actually a thinking player, right? Like, for the most part, like players in those tournaments, they don't even see ace queen. There's like a
Kings for Kevin.
Raise. C2. 35.
Like you said earlier, Tom, not a lot of kings on Monday through a whole stream, and now we've had them twice.
And the queens and tens.
Heads up.
Dominating with the suits as well. Manny calls. Very low board. Nothing that scares any pair at all.
Yeah, it's connected. Has to worry a little bit that possibly Manny played some kind of suited connector, but
It's true. 7-8 suited. 7. Can't really imagine 7-3 of any configuration or the deuce 3.
Oh, and just a nasty turn for Kevin. Ace comes out and checks around. Oh, and Manny gets there. Hits the straight with the gutter ball on the river.
Gosh, backdoored the straight. Well, I guess he was open-ended. No, he was gutter ball. That's right. He was gutter ball on the flop. I didn't even look at it.
I think Kevin's just going to have to shrug and flick this in and unfortunately lose
Just
a small
such
one.
a small. I mean, it was a small pot. I think he might call here.
Yeah, I think he just calls.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Call.
Yeah.
He'll take his medicine.
Call, not love it, and see the bad news.
The most you'll ever get from Kevin is a one shake nod. So
Yeah, that way you're right. It's kind of the yep, you had that.
I don't know.
Which always means to me with Kevin that he already figured out how many hands
I don't know where
possible.
You have money right now, Dave?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Never surprised.
Not your ordinary question you get.
I think I surprised Kevin once the entire time we played together, and that was because I pulled him off the pair of juices.
I
the dealer
came to visit some friends, and a
social,
friend of mine drove down yesterday.
his favorite hand of the year last year.
Yeah.
It was me just being nodding.
The one I'm staying with, yeah.
It worked.
Although he does a lot of other stuff more so now, but he used to play a lot.
I'll even then all I got out of
I mean, you're just like, so like, yeah, he does other stuff.
Yeah.
He does all the important
Wow, I
stuff.
can't believe you did that.
He does some other types of gambling.
Other types of
Any other player said that, dude, what are you doing?
What
are you calling me?
No, more like sports betting and crypto type stuff.
Check 10 for Mike.
I can't talk about crypto.
Ray, C-Day.
Add ace for steady.
Okay, then we won't talk about it.
Manny with real hand, couple of sevens.
Bad experience.
And then my other friend, the one that drove down yesterday, he plays in
Very
like my
playable 10
casual
jack
home
suit.
game back in
I
Dallas.
do a
which
lot
is
of
fun,
calling
but,
with
like,
10 jack,
doesn't
even
usually play.
unsuited.
I play in 1 or 2 home games a week.
Fun
Only
fact
if they
about
have
Jack 10.
But yeah,
Every
mine,
straight it makes is the
mine
nut.
is like a.
I tried that once. And like, I don't give a fuck.
Ace by 5.
Yeah, that's not, but it's like,
Manny
it's
the
like
best
a really
hand in
small
the
casual
world.
game with some friends. Like some friends that
I
don't
get
even
it, no, I
play.
get it, yeah. I just.
Yeah, if it was like a game for like actual money, you know,
Pairs
like,
by
you
pairs.
know, then I would.
I do have some mobility issues. I am handicapped. Don't let this fool you.
What?
I'm handicapped, but don't let this fool you.
What do you mean?
Well, everybody, this is Little T here with the Whammo. We're playing essentially 5, 5, 10, 25 at this point. Uncapped. Big stack on the table. There's not a match. Came in. Add as much as they want. And take it off until they're done. They can add as much as they want. Uncapped game. And we've got some good action. There's the beautiful Lauren takes orders from the table.
Yeah, Lauren, member of our wait staff here. We have a full kitchen and bar.
She's the rock, too.
Of course, 2 great hold'em hand. I have a great hold'em hand right
Steady
here.
Eddie is steady Eddie.
Nothing.
Yeah, sometimes I'll see the first 2 cards and then I'm like, oh, it's pretty good, and then I remember it's not.
And your dreams are shattered.
Yeah.
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 You carry around with the guys, you know?
Manny and Mike tied atop the leaderboard here, up 1.2K.
There is no action.
Kevin, Steady, and TM all on the plus side. And our third double board PLO bomb pot.
Bet C3, 90.
Jack 9 open-ended for Caleb.
Call C4.
Jack 9 also for Kevin. Open-ended on the top board.
Nut diamonds for Benji on
Yeah.
both boards.
Yeah. That's always a good
Do
feeling.
they scan if they're like?
You don't like to see those diamonds wasted a little bit, but you do have a lot more confidence that you can hit one. Of course, with me, a lot of times that means that the board's going to pair on both boards.
Yeah, the only problem with having the nut flush draw on both boards is some of your outs are gone.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. You
so
hate to see
yeah,
them
you do.
wasted.
But certainly not unhappy to see that, and he will make a pair here. But No diamonds on the turn.
You said round one, I
Benji.
never heard of it.
Yep.
Well, the watch.
Check 4.
So right now, the nuts on the top is a set of queens, which doesn't exist, and a set of aces. Well, I guess 3-5 is actually nobody has it. Gosh, that is just a disconnected board. The hearts get there, but there's no one holding
I don't
hearts.
play big O, but
Yeah, Benji
7-4.
bricks his flushes, but
Yeah, there's no straights at all.
I played. I used to, but since I've been
There's no deuces. Everybody has missed this board completely. So what are the winners here? Queen Jack on both boards? No, King Queen on both
ace for
boards.
Benji, Ace King for Benji.
Okay, and King Queen on the other board.
Pending TM's mystery card.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's got a 7, so he just hit nuts for straight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks like Eddie's going to bet his queen on both boards. He does have queen 6 on the top, so he's got 2 pair. Nothing much but a queen on the bottom.
Somewhat of a brave stab. I would definitely be trying to get that showdown, but gets a call from Kevin.
Yeah, what does Kevin have that he's calling with? He doesn't have anything. Oh, he's got the spades. Okay.
Yeah,
Phew.
Kevin.
Okay. Feels good about his spades because
Third
he got
nut
checked all the
spades.
way to Eddie.
And Benji just getting great odds here to see if
So much easier if you just folded.
I needed to be on payment.
he can take down half of this pot, but
No, I get it. It was like a $60 ride.
basically 150 to try to win 440.
That's worth it.
Is Ace King ever good?
He does have 2 pair on the top.
Very nice fold from Benji.
10-3.
Showdown.
Looks like the queen 6 does take it, so
I see queen 6 for 2 pair. Here.
I almost
Wow.
thought because the pot ups were so insane.
that was a
Yeah. I
very,
guess-
very disjointed,
Flush on the bottom. It's gonna be a
disconnected,
chop
That's
house.
like
It's
a
a
150
stack.
crazy bomb pot hand that didn't amount to much.
Diamonds didn't
It
come
can
out
amaze
either
me
one.
sometimes that everybody has 4 cards and nobody can make anything
Yeah.
stronger than
Yeah, I was hoping for the
Top pair
diamonds
or
to come
two
out
pair.
at least one.
5 in.
does happen though.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm like, 40, 30, then you
It's funny.
yes.
Somebody
Still
just
way
said
down.
what I hear a lot, bomb pots.
Right to the next one,
The person that has the nut diamonds is how did a diamond not come out on
Well,
each board?
it didn't scare me. It
Well,
scared me once he
might
called.
have been
Because
done
then I
on
could
each
get
board
very
because
I love it, but it just,
Yeah.
like you guys
So-
would have to be playing.
but you hear that a lot. It's like, dude, I flopped a nut draw on both boards. Yeah, but you blocked your nut draw on both boards.
Yep.
So
Yeah, 6 of the 13 of your suit are already accounted for.
and then you got to figure there's at least 3,
You're
probably
insane,
a 5 in the other
you can block, man.
hand
I
of the
Yeah.
table. So now where I back calculate and start thinking about this. Hey, I could be drawing on 12% here
Yeah.
or 25%. I just don't know.
Raise C4 75.
But Tom, sometimes hit that nut.
Sometimes you get them both. And that is the dream of every bomb pod player.
It's been a long time since I did that. I have definitely had nut flush on both boards. Problem too, though, is people get really excited about it, but you're really not going to get paid off if the other players are any sort of bomb pot players. They're going to see that the same hand wins both boards.
Yeah, that's where your bet sizing has got to be just right. Hopefully somebody bets already because they got a set and they're stupid.
Speaking of big hands, TM with queens now. Makes it 475.
So we're running at about a 25% big pair rate in the hands. Very different than
Yeah, a
Monday.
lot more big pairs thus far than Monday.
Do you play Omaha? Do you play Omaha?
Sometimes,
Yeah. I've been wondering
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
So you've been
Don't
playing
see
it a long
Barber
time?
calling with 5-3 out of
How long have
position,
you been
but
playing it? A year?
I have stood corrected many times in the past.
I'm gonna try it.
Fold.
Yeah.
He'll get out of there.
And complete. Button right.
It hasn't worked for me so far, but I'm gonna keep trying it until it does.
Feels good when it works, right?
Yeah.
That's a basis on it.
Benji
$10
bemoaning the
straddle,
fact that he's
$25 double straddle.
had no good hands on his double straddle, but he's not going to give up. Me is down 1.7, JY down 2.
Live 25.
Call.
Call C5, fold C6.
Steady likes his Jack 9 suited. JY says he's a big 10-4. Matter of fact, he raises it to 80.
Call C8. Fold C9. Call C4.
Manny does call with 2 broadways. Mike's going to call with his big diamonds and
Ooh.
kings for Kevin.
That must have been a misread.
No, he's not at the table.
Call C5.
Not working for me.
Oh, wow. What
Yeah.
a time to
He
step
got up
away.
and stepped away from the table.
Call C5.
Yeah, we'll have to tell him later. I'll let you tell him.
I'm sure he'll love to find out that information.
5 players.
We've certainly seen it before, aces
Yeah.
and kings, when
Next time will be
players
like
step
number
away.
5, so I guess 5th time's charm.
Check C1. Check 3.
Only 1 diamond for Mike out there. Looks like a 5 is in the lead. No. Wait a minute. Oh, 10. Yeah, a 10 for JY. And he does fill in the gaps between the 3 and the 5, so he's got backdoor straight and flush draws.
Fold 8. Fold 1. Call C3.
Tim will make the call here. Backdoor straight possibilities, and of course, middle pair.
C5. Heads up.
And that is one of his backdoor straightening cards.
Check 3.
Now he's open-ended with the top pair.
That's what he was asking me earlier.
Oh, I didn't even listen.
Yeah, I said I didn't.
Unfortunately for him, he's
That's what I meant.
drawing to a chop. Needs a 5 to win outright.
Bet C7, 450.
JY gonna keep betting top pair here,
And his open-ender.
and his same open ender.
I feel like I have to always 3 and 4 bet 18, but I hate it. But you have to. You can't. I mean, I have folded. I like.
GM's gonna come along. Big pot brewing.
17. I mean, yeah.
1,700 in the middle to a river,
That does nothing for anybody.
and JY's gotta hate that river.
Yeah, but they go check.
Quick checks.
I say 410 for 10s.
Big pot for some questionable holdings, but a lot of draws. Well, folks, as we always remind you on Hijack Poker, you can play poker online and earn real cash. You can cash out at any of our locations. So scan this code, get your free referral.
Good. I
And
like
as
that.
Kevin stepped away because he needed food and missed his kings, we're going to show you why. We have brioche French toast, which I've had, which is great. We've got dirty fries, which I dearly love. We have fish sandwich, which I dearly love. Of course, I'm not as big a fan of the BLT, but a lot of people love it. And we have the pork belly sliders. So we are not just a place where you can play cards. We're a place where you can come and eat, and I do it frequently. Great menu, good prices. Chef kills this menu. I don't know if it's worth giving up your kings, but it probably is.
Yeah, and a little life hack. If you're in North Austin, even if you don't want to play some cards, but it's after, say, 9 or 10 o'clock and everything else is closed,
Yeah.
Whataburger is not the only option. The kitchen is open till 2 a.m.
Yeah, come in and get those pork belly sliders. You will not regret it. We talked about this Monday night. My favorite, the shrimp pasta with the chorizo cheese sauce. Oh,
One of the best smelling dishes you'll ever see.
yeah, it is. It is.
Or smell, obviously.
Wonderful.
So we've got some suited aces here. Benji holding the best with ace jack of diamonds.
Maybe TM's board. And it is.
TM does connect. Manny with the nut flush draw.
Yeah.
Check 4. Check 8. Check 9. Check around.
Gutter ball for Caleb and backdoor hearts, and it'll check around.
Nobody else has hit other than, so you can see that momentum, that equity shift towards Terry, although it's hard for him to imagine with 2 overcards to his pair of 3s. Benji's going to take a little bit of a shot at this with his gut shot to the queen.
Manny definitely not folding the nut flush
No.
draw.
Caleb, also known as Barber, looking it over. He's got a gut shot to the 4 and an overcard to the board, but he gives it up. And the best hand is probably going to fold here.
Call 3. 3 players. 0.
No, he does call.
TM does make the call.
Interesting.
Looking for a 3 or a 4, although ahead at the moment.
And we'll get you what this board shows here in a second.
Check 3.
Looks like it's a 9 of diamonds, 10 of diamonds. So
Board pairs and TM good in a $1,500 pot with just a pair of 3s and a 4 kicker.
And that is probably going to shut Benji down. He could potentially rep, but he's not going to, and it's probably going to get checked by Manny as well. And he does have position.
Oh,
and
and
he
Manny,
does make a bet.
Manny is going to bluff at it.
Wow. Terry makes this call. It's going to be call of the night. I don't care how many good calls come after this.
TM more than capable of making this call, and this is going to be no exception.
He makes the call. Terry, you are a stone cold killer.
Definitely hurt Manny that the board paired there. 22.55 headed TM's way with a pair of 3s. Nicely played.
Yeah, just great play.
And that's why TM is better at poker than you are.
He is.
Whoever's listening.
Yeah, dude.
I'm kidding. No offense to chat.
Yeah.
Probably
But
some
he
great
is.
players out there, but yeah, TM one of the best.
Yeah, but he is.
I'm including myself.
$10 straddles on
I appreciate that. I mean, you're a good poker player. You're not all looks.
$10.
Yeah, I wish we had a camera.
Call 6.
Show
Used
those
to.
looks you give me.
Raise C7. 75.
Suited big slick here for JY.
A lot of big aces, ace king, a lot of ace kings tonight. Ace kings and good pairs.
A lot of suited cards too.
Yeah, a lot of suited aces.
Manny's turn with ace 5 suited. The poor man's big slick. Kevin was going to try to flop a set with his 8s, and TM not folding a suited connector. They've certainly paid off for him thus far.
Well, it was an avalanche of calls after a couple of them too, as it always is.
7 players.
And an
All
ace does come out.
spades.
Yeah, all spades, and only the spade on the board or in the holdings is Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin with his pair of 8s and spade draw actually good equity-wise, but JY does flop top pair, top picker.
He checked it. It looks like Manny bet it, 150.
Yeah, Manny also with top pair, outkicked at the moment.
Probably going to get through.
Yeah, Dante's going to be folding a 5, or already has, so.
The only spade in the holdings is gone.
Looks like we got a flat call from
JY does call.
JY.
Yeah.
Safe turn card.
And Manny will not take his foot off the gas as he throws, looks like 250 out there.
Yeah, JY, I think he's going to have to call again. He's just, I think, hanging on for a showdown here. Out of position, but with top, probably not going to be looking to fold, especially getting these odds.
Well, you always ask yourself, if you do fold that, why did I call the previous
right?
bet?
Yeah,
because that card is a dead card, and he gets 2 pair. Manny gets ahead.
Manny rivers
Now he's
them,
probably
puts
going to
the
go
4
check
flush
because of the 4 flush, but
I see ace.
Manny
for aces.
does catch
I
up
see
with him, and
five,
JY's going to
two
be
pair,
just disgusted.
2 pair will take it.
Not the spade, the 5.
I mean, it wins, I guess.
Just a nasty river there for JY. JY not running great early here, but Manny thrilled to be on the other side of that. He's stacking chips again. That'll put Manny in the profit lead, up
Straddle is
$1,200.
Dante's at a 10.
Yeah.
Just over an hour in with you guys. We'll be with you until 10 o'clock Central here at TCH Austin.
Call 7. Fold 8.
I'm Kyle Frisbee, joined by Uncle T,
That was part of my thinking. Like, if I'm on that
with you
side,
tonight.
like,
As we were on Monday, if we're done with this stream and you want to watch more poker, watch Monday's stream. That was a pretty wild game.
I check.
Call 5, check 6. 4 players.
It'd be better if you had non-green, because you only had like 5 more days.
Darren, if we haven't acknowledged you yet, howdy, back at you.
Check 5. Check 6. Check 7.
Monotone board again, all clubs this time, and best club with Steady and another club on the turn. So Steady actually with an open-ended straight flush draw, but JY is going to bet with a straight. TM will hold the deuce of clubs, and
Chicken tenders.
Call 5. Call 6.
Steady going to flick in the call with the everyone drawing dead and
Check.
6 of diamonds on the river.
I have a flush. A bad flush.
I have a 9.
I see.
I
the
good.
9.
Steady will
I
put that
needed your
down.
9. I was going for, you needed my 6.
I wanted a straight flush.
I know, I did too.
Right. Between the pair.
Damn, well played.
All practice, man.
Did you tip the dealer?
Yeah,
Nice little win there for Steady. Seemingly has won every pot he's chosen to play.
$10 straddle is on.
What did you have, a 6?
I had the 6 of clubs, yeah. Pretty strong.
You needed that.
I needed your card or a 5 of
$10
clubs.
straddle.
5 of clubs would give me a
Raise. Seat 8. 60. Call seat
Boy, it's
9.
been the night of suited aces. Manny with ace-9 of hearts, and Caleb gonna call with a pair of 6s.
Call 3. Fold 4. 5. Fold 6.
No, I did too.
Huh?
3 players.
I know. I'm just picking on you because you know my right.
Hold it down,
I
man.
No, but I did. He did appreciate the advice.
Check 8.
So a raise to 60 and a bunch of
I
calls.
told him to walk 10,000 steps a day.
Actually, just 2 calls.
Bet. Seat 9. 80.
Tim?
And Caleb is going to bet here with his pair
Well,
of
I think you- I
6s.
think you
His
do walk
best
10,000
hand
steps a day,
at the moment.
Well, no, because you sit down a lot. No,
Yeah, I think that.
I'm one of my. I used to work for Target, and I would walk like 30,000 steps a day.
Give me a grilled chicken with mashed potato soup.
Fold 8. Yeah. Anxiety.
Yeah.
Over the tip with lifesaving.
Looks like Caleb's bet is going to work here.
Right?
I'm sorry, didn't you?
The tip I gave you was lifesaving.
Yeah. Oh,
Take
yeah.
that one down.
Yeah, I got a cold.
Don't eat beans and stand by a fire.
Always nice with those smaller pocket pairs.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess you
You
can.
still take down the pot even if you miss your set, which ultimately was what you were
Campfires?
aiming for.
I forgot.
I want you to explain yourself, man.
I forgot. You're not into outdoors, but
I thought the oceans.
King Jack under the gun.
you need so much.
Caleb will limp in.
I can't every now and then, once every couple of years, go out there and try to grab
Seat
it.
340. Fold 4. Hold actually,
UTG 1 being essentially under the gun all night. Straddle on.
He said call, damn it!
Call 5, call 6, fold 7, call 8.
I'm only calling because I knew Manny would call.
Call 9.
If I'm in there, he's in there.
5
And
players.
of course, all these calls.
5 players, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, I checked.
Check. Seat 6.
4, 6, 7, a couple of spades.
Check 3.
Steady.
Bet 65.
Flopping middle pair and a gut shot. He'll bet it.
Fold 6. Call 7. I'm sorry, call 8, call 9.
Manny coming along with bottom pair and a gut shot.
Check 8.
And Manny makes trips on the turn, takes the lead here.
Bet 60.
He'll check and Steady's going to bet.
Raise. Seat 8, 175.
Quick raise by Manny.
Call. Seat 5. Heads up to this.
Steady's going to call here. He's going to be looking for a 5 or a 6. That is not it. It's like Manny's going to lead the river here, very small. Trying to get an additional $100 in value, and Steady's going to oblige.
Oh, no shit, you got
I see tray 4.
Oh, no shit.
Running hot.
Take a little time to think about it, man. Check raising with. He's only check raising when that 4 comes.
The rest of the pot.
In my opinion.
Another pot going Manny's way. He's been
Not.
mostly hot tonight. Closing in on a 5K stack.
It's gonna be Manny's night.
Up 1.6.
No, I already said it. No, me. Jerry deals the string, doesn't he? Only the good deals deal the string.
Oh, what? $10 straddles on live 10. Jerry's one of the best.
Yeah, he is.
Just ask him.
Fold 1.
I've heard mixed things about people wanting to do the string and they don't.
30.
Yeah, they
Most
do.
people don't
Raise.
want to do
Seat
that.
2, 35.
They say it's more work, but I think that
Well, you probably want to deal a bigger game.
Kevin with the tank. He'll raise it up.
they share.
Call
That's what
5.
I'm saying they share with like the
Fold 6.
cage and other whole group.
No, but they share with other dealers.
Call 7.
Manny with King Queen in the big blind. He's gonna 3-bet.
All ours.
Oh. Someone told me you
Looks like he's made it 130.
didn't deserve any of that, though.
They do for the support. They
Oh, don't. You just have to say that.
And you guys fold. Seat 9.
Do you ever, like, undervalue your... I only got $1 in tips all day.
He kicks the lock on the
Oh, that's right.
Evan, what does he want
I
to do with
should've
his pair
measured.
of tens, facing a 3-bet from the higher VPIP players, and he is going to 4-bet now. Not messing around with his tens.
Fold seat 3.
Goes 450.
Fold seat 7. 400.
That's going to get a lot of quick folds, and Manny's King Queen is going to have to shrink pretty quick here.
Whoa.
And I laid this down earlier.
I mean, you're bragging.
That's what she said.
I know.
If I show
I'm
you a
working in
card,
here, Mike. Don't worry. I got it.
I can't show pre-flop. I'll show.
Card funeral.
Whoa.
I'll show after the turn.
Don't show it all.
Let me get to the turn. Pick one, and let me just pick one.
After the flop, we can each pick one.
I mean, that's a good deal. That's a really good deal.
I think, yeah. If I was going to say something, I would say.
It's a long card funeral.
A loophole.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, he is.
I don't understand why would you do that. You think you're scaring him?
King Queen is not your hand?
Shows a 10 of spades.
No, he had 10-5. I saw the other one.
Button is right.
But it was
gonna be a
suited
bomb
though.
pot this hand. Bomb pot time.
Doesn't help him.
$25 left for the bomber.
I had 10-5 of spades yesterday. Chase traveled 500. Chase, and he's like, give me action. I'm like, I really want to, but there were two people behind me, so I folded. I would have ended up winning.
Well, because a lot of times Chase will raise that too.
No, Chase was all in straddle 500.
Oh!
So Kevin will take that down. He's up a little over $800 as Casey, Jonte's better half, joins us in the chat. Hi, Casey.
Oh, shit! Bomb pot.
The top board. Bottom board. 9 of you on this one. Check seat 8. Check seat 9. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3. Check 4.
Check.
5. Check 6. Check 7. Checks around. All 9 players to the turn. Check 8. Check 9. Check 1. Check 2. Check 3.
Onto a bomb pot here, quickly to a turn, and JY has tripped jacks, possibly a friend, no friend. Dante also with trip jacks.
Hold action here.
What do we have on the top? Anybody? King high clubs for Benji.
Call 2.
JY going to bet his trip jacks with his ace kicker.
Call 4. Roll 5.
Going to get called in several spots.
Well, I wasn't.
Dante looking for a 7 or 6 on the river here on the bottom board. Does not come.
Check 2.
And it looks like JY actually has a scooper here. He's got 2 pair on the top and trip jacks on the bottom with an ace
Check
kicker.
4, check 6. Check 7. Showdowns.
So
My straight.
2 pair on top.
he'll take this one down. Nice pot for JY. I feel the man kind of deserves that. Has not run great thus far, so
You've got the trips on the bottom.
that'll get him in the win column.
Oh, he's got ace jack. Okay. Up top, I've got.
Can't hit either of the flush
Ace
draws.
8.
Ace 8. Yep. Yeah, he's had a couple of unfortunate moments, so that helps him a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, you just had a.
Classic.
But well, because if somebody says that in earnest, I have to treat it as if it was real.
Haven't you dealt with me before? Yeah, you're an asshole.
Giving our dealer a hard time. As long as it's in jest, I'm a big
Oh,
fan.
sure. Yeah.
There's nothing like getting one of our dealers to go, wait, what? Just because they're so good at their jobs, they're not accustomed to making mistakes. I have to brag on one of our dealers a little bit. Last night in the Crazy Pineapple, Daniel came to the table, and as always, he's fast, he's quick in his delivery, his turnarounds of hands. Even though in a tournament, he's not like getting extra hands in to get tips. So, and can absolutely shut down a bad actor at the table or a bad commenter at the table with a smile. It always cracks me up. He has a way of, Daniel has, you also know him as Berg, of smiling at the table like, yep, that's going to get you in trouble.
We're not going to be doing that tonight.
Yep.
Jack's still good here for Mike. 1 overcard on this flop. Dante will bet his middle pair, and Mike improves to set of jacks, although does bring in hearts. He'll bet into Dante, and I think with no heart in his hand, I think Dante probably going to be exiting stage left.
All right, I'm gonna lay this down.
Fold C6.
I'm gonna lay it down.
A set of yaks.
I folded the winner.
And Mike gives him the blank face.
You believe that?
I had a pair?
He had 2 straight.
No, I had 10-5.
You missed everything, right, Mike?
Yeah,
just tell him. He had 2 straight.
But if it didn't get
Mike missed everything.
That heart stared you.
He had to like a,
Well, I wanted to see where you were.
he had to like a line on a hyena.
I'm gonna represent that flush too. Give a check.
Live 10, $10 straddle. Live 25, double straddle.
Double straddle still on pretty regularly.
Full 4, full 5, 6, 7, full 8. What's the bet, sorry? $25 straddle.
This time it's Cherry that threw it out. TM. He's getting a lot of callers. Mike just floats with his ace king suited.
Check 3, 4 players.
We'll have a very disguised hand if he can connect with this flop. And
What was that flop?
does not just one spade, but
Check 9.
Yeah, not much for anybody.
yeah,
Gut shot
still
for
the best
Manny.
hand with ace king high.
If I
Yeah,
had 10-5, I would be jamming.
Manny on the button might decide to bet. Just because he does have a gut shot. He's actually, is he double guttered? He can hit the 8 or the, nope, just the 8, yeah.
Heads up.
Then the clubs get there. Nobody with any
Bet
clubs,
150.
obviously.
I believe it sounded like Mike bet 150. That's correct. Manny
Yeah,
out of
nice
there.
bet by Mike. I mean, repping the clubs with the best hand, the ace king. Nothing for Manny to call with.
Yeah, 100% agree. If he checks that, Manny is bluffing that turn high percentage of the time. It's going to be tough to continue.
You taking the
Well, folks, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have our 5-5 next week. Again,
Live
on
25,
5-5 uncapped,
double
as I understand it, as the double straddle comes in again for Benji. We are going to have, in 2 weeks, the 21st all-ladies game. I talked about it Monday night. We got a great lineup, some Dallas players coming down. We'll have Samantha here, both the Britneys that you've seen on live streams and tournament tables. Samantha will be playing. We're going to have a really great lineup. So tune in 2 weeks from tonight for the all-ladies game. We're going to call it Ladies Night or Ladies Live. If you have a better name, I'd like to hear it, as long as it's not too cheesy. Really looking forward to that.
Full 2.
Steady going to raise up some jacks here, and no customers yet. TM looks like he's going to oblige with a suited jack 7.
Full 3.
Benji out of there.
not yet?
So heads up to a flop. TM does flop a gut shot, and Steady cannot love that. He's going to go ahead and bet.
Bet 150 C5.
Goes just under a third pot, or just over, excuse me. The TM will continue looking for an 8 or a club. Another ace on the turn. Pretty good card for Steady. Decreases the likelihood that TM has an ace. TM's going to check over to Steady. Looks like Steady going to continue to bet here.
25.
325 from Steady. TM's going to think this one over and choose not to continue. Another nice pot for Steady.
$10 straddle on live 10. Live 10.
Steady with another playable hand here. He's going to limp in with ace 10 off under the gun.
I know your hand, so
Which hand is that?
Call 1. Call 2. Call 3.
Got a raise for Manny and a call from Mike with a pair of eights.
Oh, 10-5. I play every 10-5.
Call 5.
I'm trying that's
Steady makes the call.
I like my
3
hands
ways
not
to a
get
flop.
connected anyway. And if they're suited, they go straight to mud.
Check 5.
Give me expectations with good hands.
King high flop. Connects with no one. Pair of eights. Still good for Mike. Manny keeping the pressure up with just 7 high and a gut shot.
Call C1. Call C5. Heads up.
And he'll get called by Mike. Good call by Mike. Not a believer just yet. And looks like Manny is going to slow down. Jack on the river. See if Manny's going to bluff here. Has virtually no showdown value.
Showdown. I see 8s.
Mike's playing well.
Yeah, nicely played. Controlled the size of the pot. Got to a showdown with his 3rd pair.
Yeah, what really only fading the king the whole way.
10 is on.
After that turn check, he's got to feel pretty good. Mike, the big winner tonight so far, 1.6K.
Yeah, and I think also reading the room with player types, Manny, once he gets called by Mike, choosing to shut down, Mike's not calling in there with nothing.
Weak,
so
I don't think I can name one.
sometimes knowing when to shut down is the most profitable play.
Yeah, yeah.
Roger Clemens.
Call C8.
I thought you were going to say Babe Ruth.
Call 9.
I know. I've heard of him.
Raise C2. 60.
Got some limps, and now Kevin's going to pop it up from the button. Ace 8.
They usually
We'll
don't
make
give
it 60 over to TM with suited King 9, and he is going to 3-bet to 210, and Benji's got a pair of 6s.
Call 4. Call 5.
Gave him up.
He'll lay it down.
Steady gave up his jack 10.
9.
Really the best hand other than the ace 8, which is, that's a difficult call. He's going to give it up. Great play by Terry just to take it down to what appeared to be a weak field. Not a weak field, a weak field.
But he did earn some bread.
Oh, mommy.
Y'all can flame me in the chat for that one.
Yeah, chat us up. We appreciate your appropriate and humorous comments.
I'll wait till.
Look there, you got to go fight a
Appreciate
bear.
all of you that are listening tonight and in the chat.
Steak knife for sure.
Live 10.
Game not quite as lively as the uncapped was before, but we got plenty of time to pick it up.
Yeah, have a lot of pre-flop confrontations between premium pair versus premium pair, or queens versus ace king, something like that. I'm sure that will arise at some point in the next 2.5 hours.
Very small.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like
I don't even know what I
the tournament that
Who's in the hand?
they do
2
that
players.
with, right?
The champs.
Where you
You had me for a
There
second. I
were
was
some
like, how did I
tournaments,
forget?
like 30
Check,
weights.
check, check.
Did you look tournaments?
Pair for steady
Check 5, check
That
6.
one.
in this very small pot.
Check.
Jack.
Showdown.
I have a 6.
Well, 6 is
I
good.
see 6, 7 for the
Man.
super.
Why can't you throw some clubs on there? Let me punish him.
I think the problem is he blew up.
Steady may have the award for smallest pot one.
Yeah, but I didn't know any clubs.
They canceled each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody
Somebody
ever.
missed the
10 on my 10.
double straddle.
Yeah, only $10 that hand.
Ah,
how'd you end up doing that?
I played 2 hands.
No, motherfucker. How'd you wait 2 hours?
I waited 2 hours. I sat down with 40 bigs. My second hand, I had ace queen.
Live 10. Call seating.
God, this is really wrong. Ace king.
Calls it. This table's getting weak.
I heard,
They just had to make a quick
No, I
repair.
get it. I just, I'll never sit in 6 again.
Raise C2 50.
So this right
Fold
here,
3, fold
it's
4.
raised
Kevin's
up, so
gonna
it's
raise up
actually
Fold
a
5.
suited king
Call
I cut
6.
you, but
and some
Yeah,
pretty
this is super cool.
modest holdings from the rest of the field
You're
here.
talking like sometimes I drag my
Looks like
card.
Dante's going to come along with queen 9 off.
4 players.
I forgot what I had. You want to sweat? Go on, you look at it. I don't know.
4 players.
Yeah.
9 high flop, top pair for Dante and Mike. Dante with the best kicker.
I check.
Oh, I didn't hear it. My bad. My bad. Check 7, check 8. Bet 175.
Huh.
Dante's going to check into the field, and Mike is going to bet his top pair. And
Call 2.
middle pair for Kevin. He's going to come along and see what Dante wants to do. He'll flat. Manny, not a lot working on this flop. He's out of there.
3 players.
I check.
Check 6. Bet C1.
Blank on the turn. Dante still in the driver's seat.
Call C2.
Kevin getting a great price to call with second pair.
Jack.
nope. Boink. This is going to cost Mikey some money.
Yeah, nasty river for Mike.
250.
250 is going to get Kevin out of the hand.
How
But
much value?
unfortunately, yeah, how much does Dante feel like he's good?
I call.
Call
Oh, he's
6,
just
call
going to flat.
I see 9, 10. I see 9, queen.
Wow.
Play. Here's the 250 your call chip.
Dante been quiet tonight, but he takes down that hand. Just kind of an unfortunate play for Mike. Loved seeing that 9 until he didn't.
Yeah, and actually, the more you think about that hand, don't blame Dante at all for flatting the river bet. Relatively tough for him to get called by worst. Of course, that is what Mike would have had in that case, but reasonably often, you're only getting called by a better hand if you have trip nines or queen keeper there.
His phone alerted him that it was unlocked. Can you send somebody here to get his keys and lock the car for him?
Would hate to raise and get jammed on, put you in a nasty spot.
You tell them that when they get here. That's
I saw that on YouTube on some coffee machine. Someone put a P touch that said voice act. People are screaming, "Espresso!"
Fold 9.
Yeah.
Fold 1. Fold 2.
Welcome, Rebel.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Raise 3. 45.
No drama. We got no drama but poker.
Fold 7.
Hey, yo.
Deal with no drama.
I haven't seen VPIP numbers, but I think it's safe to say Manny is in the lead.
Yeah, he usually is. What was he the other night? Like 92% at one point?
Somewhere plus 80 for some period of time.
He came back down to earth a little bit.
And why would you fold if you can just flop trips versus top pair?
Yeah. Every hand's a winner when you're running well, and he hopes somebody has an 8.
Yeah, actually, not the best turn card for Manny, as it's going to devalue TM's hand, but
it's hard to get money out of TM anyway. He's laying low right now, just calling, but the hammer's about to drop. And he's got to look like he's got a mouse in his mouth, and the cat is about to put in a big bet. Maybe try to make it a little bluffy, but nah, 225 is probably, it's a pot size bet. TM's looking at it and thinking, did I just get slow played?
Well, I know who my father is. We're actually friends.
Oh, absolutely agree.
it's like he's going to pay it off here.
Call, showdown.
Let's make the call. And
I see king 8 for trips.
You haven't seen him in 40 years?
Didn't have to be right all that often to be profitable, but as it stands, Manny going to take down another nice pot.
He's still alive at 78, so that gives you hope.
Button is right.
And Manny, 2 streams in a row running pretty hot.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
Manny's super nice guy, fun to chat with, loves poker.
He's the best. We had a great, that's what I was telling you, we had a great conversation after that VPIP game the other night. How can we make it better? How do we get more players that are playing out in our cash games into the live streams? Maybe have some more Monday nights. We were talking about the summer and how we can get the VPIP game going because it was so entertaining. And I love me some Manny.
9 players on this one. 9 players.
It's hard to find anybody to say negative things about him. Just not there.
See, when you do the card, it flips it up.
On to another bomb pot.
La Bamba.
This was one of those requests.
Yeah, I clearly want to play at a room.
First 2 boards roll out.
Check 7.
Well, it is pretty,
Check 8, check 9. Check
You
1.
can't quite
check
see the
2.
cards yet, and haven't got cards rolling yet. Pretty dry boards. 2 4s obviously nuts on one board and a set of 9s on the other board.
9 players.
Anybody with the deuce 4 for the wheel?
Which now is 4-6.
Ooh, top set for Manny.
And 4-6 for Benji. So right now there's nut. And Benji also blocks chopping those.
Oh, top! I totally missed Manny with set of aces on both boards. He has some scoopability here.
Yes, he does.
Fold 1, fold 2, fold 3. Call 4, fold.
I call that bullshit bet.
You say call?
Yeah.
Fold 7.
Manny building a pot here.
$50
for a board pair on both boards. Okay.
Now actually the 4-7 is the best hand on the top, but a set of 6s. The board does pair. So Manny's going to hit this hard because he doesn't have much on the other board. He does have a set of aces, but there's hearts and there's straights.
Yeah, 6-4 good and set of aces. So Manny and Benji, assuming nobody folds.
This is just a tough call for I mean, it's $160, so it's not that bad. I think if he made a pot-sized bet, he could probably push somebody off. But Manny doesn't want to lose customers because he's got that set of aces on top.
Okay, sure. All right, no problem. I got you. You want to play heads up?
Benji out of there with the
chop.
chop.
It's pretty hard for Dante to call anything here. Yeah, this is all Manny.
Oh, it's okay for when you want to do it. Never mind.
Fold 6.
Well, he does take it down with
There you go.
being a really strong hand.
For a boat and a
Nuts.
Yeah, pretty good result there for Manny getting the fold from Benji. It's going to earn him half the pot additional.
He bets all the way. Can I see one?
Rebel, we've all been there.
Dude,
Just
you know, too many out syndrome is real. You know, you hear these pros talk about it. It's real. I don't know how many times I've
Such a bad river.
sat there and gone.
My flush misses and the other flush comes in.
And half the time, not only do you not get your card, but your opponent's hand improves. And you're like, how did you hit your
sure, yeah.
3-outer, but I can't hit my 14-outer? It's one of the
Or
bad
like you have
things
an
about
open-ended straight flush draw versus a set. And they have just immediately bowed up on the turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Ray, C4, 30.
I was just trying to demoralize you. I'll take it
A
personally.
one day.
Rebel, I believe the answer to your question is yes.
It is a mod.
I
think he's- I believe he means commentator
Oh.
at times. Yeah.
See, I'm old enough, Rebel, that when somebody says a mod, I think of like the Who and bands of the '60s. That when there was a phase of fashion that was called mods, and they would dress real outlandishly with fur and and striped jackets, and before your time.
I'm learning something right now.
Yeah, I mean the Who went through that phase. Paul Revere and the Raiders.
I believe Rebel meant moderator.
Yes, yeah. I was like, I would never call Dante a mod. I know that not that he doesn't have a fashion sense, but yes, that is Dante. We were just talking earlier about commentating law preferring to play.
I mean, if Eagles gear is mod, then he would qualify. But
Yes, and it's not.
not tonight though.
No.
Oh.
The Philadelphia Eagles gear is not considered a fashion sense.
Yeah.
Not in cowboy country.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Look it up on your phones, folks. But mods, 1960s mods, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So people don't just think I'm some old boomer doesn't know what he's talking about.
Last couple of streams, I'm absolutely.
Yeah, we got you, Rebel. Yep.
You and I both. Not now, but like in the past streams. Oh my god.
For what?
That is
How
him.
bad I am.
Yeah, the commentators can be pretty ruthless.
No, the commentators are great. The chat people.
Or yeah, that's
Mike out of there with 6 deuce, cooling down a little bit after a hot start.
Ray, 35.
Coming from 1-2
And got a raise from a mystery hand. There's JY. He's got 10-6 suited.
Oh yeah. People who don't
Pretty
play
modest holdings from his opponents. Caleb in there with Queen 8 suited.
They'll know the stream because they watch.
Slight favorite going to this flop.
I've seen so many people come to Texas to play poker and just get checked out.
4-4-3. Steady.
They're not ready.
You
Fair
gotta
enough.
like spend like 6 months just
In the lead now.
grinding it out to figure out. Oh, that's charging.
Not if it's put to the circle, it's not.
Oh, that's a technicality.
Yeah, you can take
Caleb, considering a move, thinks better of it.
It would have been a crazy dog though.
He only bets you.
That is a spot that oftentimes I'll choose to bluff because a lot of players check their trip. Of course, this is more so at the 1-2 level. Other players have gotten better about leading out with their trips, but a lot of times that is that non-trip pair. And if you raise, you put them in a spot where they really just don't want to face the
I
three barrels.
and when somebody's opening a bag of Doritos,
A lot of times you can just take it down right there.
You'll be 5, and guys, we've got a live 10.
Wait, you're what?
And I have the
When someone eats a bag of Doritos
Sleeper
while playing
25.
Yeah,
You ever play somebody eat a bag of chips while they're playing?
sure.
I can't stand it.
Sleeper straddle.
Ooh!
All right.
Wait, a what?
A sleeper straddle.
3-3.
What does that mean?
You straddle when they're not there, so
Oh yeah.
525.
What's that say? Where'd he go?
Ray, 75.
Well, Hoax.
What did you do?
Where did that come from? Great. I'm going to put my teeth back in. Well, folks, we're at hand 39. This is TCH Live Austin.
Yeah, I work for the school district.
Oh.
TCH Social in Austin. Wednesday night playing 5-5 uncapped. Pretty much turned out to be 5-5 25. Happy to have you here, all of you in the chat. Head us up.
Top
All
pair for
spades.
Benji.
Yeah. Spade for Manny Fresh may keep him in there.
As well as middle pair.
playing scuba diving.
Oh, it's. I thought it was a king of spades. It is not.
I believe it is king of spades. It's a misread.
It is. That is misread. Yeah. That's a. Ignore those outs at the top. And it doesn't get there. Jack 9 is good though. No, sorry, King 8 is good. Nobody's gonna bet it.
I mean, it's a job,
moisten
right?
the board.
I don't know. You used to work at
It's
a
pretty
shopping
thin
center.
value to
What
bet
was it?
here for Benji, and he
I
will
went to Target.
Target. What the heck?
go to showdown.
I see
Little
King
boy.
8. I see Jack 9.
I was on the
Good to see some chips
I've
headed
lost so many
Benji's
hands
way.
today, I was like,
Well, I
you know,
dropped
there's like
No
there's
down
no
from
way I'm
Dallas
gonna get
and giving some action. Just
Yeah.
hasn't run
Quite
quite to his liking yet.
So, folks,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm gonna point this out to you.
I was very
Play,
clearly no spade.
Our tournaments, if you get here and register before the start, you get 1 free hour. So come down and play our tournaments tomorrow night. You'll see me playing the double bomb pot tournament, which I love. It's more fun than a box of monkeys, which is pretty much how you describe any table where you're playing double bomb pots, box of monkeys. Come down and play with us. Get here early. As long as you register before the tournament starts, you get 1 hour free time. Can't beat that with a stick.
Have you ever traveled to like the Vegas?
We've seen a lot of 6s tonight, like we did Monday night.
Did it already?
King Queen for Manny. Love that hand. King Queen is suited. Easy to bet with, easy to get away from. Which is typically my hands. I bet them and then I get away from them. Kevin's got the jacks. And he just calls with the jacks. Not what he did with the 10, so he's taking a little slightly different line in this position of being in the big blind. As smart players do, consider where they're going to be. And, of course, Manny just crushes it. Probably going to be fairly easy for Kevin to get away from it.
Very small bet from Manny.
Is there anything more suspicious than a value bet? Kevin does call it.
I mean, practically getting odds to try to hit a jack, but
yeah,
or some kind of running straight.
It would that would probably be a little harder.
Imagine Manny's going to size up here.
Yeah, this is a rainbow board without much in the way of draws. You might be afraid of 10 jack at the worst. Not much of a motivation for many to do anything other than to milk the cow a little bit. Or in this case, milk Kevin. And he does get a call.
Sure. Some of those guys also.
This will probably go check. No, Manny's going to make a move.
Saying hi. Yeah.
Trying to squeeze every ounce of value out of top 2 pair.
I saw you win a couple weeks ago. I don't know how long.
Let's go.
I'm not sure. It
It's tough playing on the screen.
Kevin out of there. No,
Yeah, he got as much as he could possibly get out of.
You had your hand.
Right when you bet.
I don't know. I just saw a
Kevin
picture
there.
saying congratulations.
Yeah, I think that probably was close to max value.
Right when you give action.
Once you get Manny running good.
Those two things.
Just choose to show the hand. I don't know what's in Manny's head as far as reasoning for that, but I will say
Nice, dude.
Well, I think
is-
he showed it to Barber, and I think he had to show
I've been
once you
covering
show
for you.
one, you have to show all.
yeah. Well, it just depends on what your strategy is because you bet small there. You
I
had a
just need to
huge
start getting
hand.
some of your
In the
hands.
future, you want to be able to bluff with a small bet. Then I think it's great. It's just good to keep in mind.
I've seen
You
like
showed
the
that down.
same 2 offsuit hands.
You're making a lot of very smallish value bets, so in the future, you might want to change your strategy when you pop the monster.
I'm never looking back there, so I never see it. So thank you.
Well, Kevin took a bit of a hit, so he's just barely in the green now. But amazingly enough, 6 out of our 9 players are in the green.
Raise 6, 7, 3. Call 8, call 9.
As you might be able to hear in the background, it's an active night here at TCH. A lot of people in the house.
Call 3.
We've got our Wednesday night tournament going on, which usually draws a lot of people.
Call.
So if you feel like playing poker, come on down. Like I said, tomorrow night, I'm going to play that double bond tournament.
I check.
You do
Check.
more.
That's me.
Dante, top pair. Very connected wet board.
Very connected. Nobody with any spades.
Call Sigma.
Nobody with the jack either.
Everybody's got a 9, but Dante, he's got the queen.
Raise 400. Seat size.
Can you give him grand? Yeah.
So Dante leads out with top pair, and he's going to face a big raise from JY.
Yeah, those, I'm sure those are
Manny likes his, as JY does, likes his king almost as much as his 9 here, or more so, because he's, you know, he can draw to the jack. He does give it up.
Well, it's never a bluff, right? I mean, yeah, queen. It's never a bluff. Don't beat. That shit's stupid.
Such a connected board. You know, it's hard to not put somebody on having a king jack there, and it's hard not to put somebody on a draw. There's just so many things people raise
Yeah,
with,
what am I gonna do on the turn?
especially in a fairly weak kick-out
I
bet.
didn't have a draw or anything.
Yeah, JY shows the semi-bluff there, and I'm folding 100% of the time with Dante's hand there. There's just almost no run out that you're going to love.
Exactly.
$10 straddle is on, guys. Live.
always enjoy.
I put him on a handy like.
That's mine, and I like King 9 is mine.
$10.
Annie, big winner thus far, up over 2K.
Very minimum.
Call 6.
Maybe 8
Call 1.
I think that'll put Manny up around 5,000 plus between Monday and tonight.
Raise 6.
Couple hours to go.
Call 3. Call 4.
couple of callers here.
Call 5.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. 3,500 and
4 players.
3,200 and 15 to 1,800. Yeah.
Top pair for TM as well as Mike. TM outkicked.
Bet 100. Seat 1.
Mike makes a quick bet with top pair. Dante does have a pair of 5s.
Call 3. Call 6.
He'll flick in a call.
There's a spicy card. Now that's going to keep Dante in the hand open-ended.
Yeah, Dante picks up a lot of equity with that 4, and
Doesn't hit, but boy, it really stopped the action in its tracks. Both kings were happy to not have a round of betting. See if Mike is Terry. Action on Terry. That's it. That check around was pretty odd, and he's going to come in really strong. Looks like 450. 575.
overbetting the pot.
And this is not a line the players have seen from Terry so far tonight.
What does Mike want to do facing this overbet?
I think considering the action and Terry knowing Mike is probably one of the tighter players at the table, once Dante folds, he's feeling good. He's targeting somebody that would have a hard time calling this board. Now, whether he has an inkling that Mike is this strong or not, it's hard to say.
What is it?
575.
Yeah, TM. I think this is a value bet, but it's going to serve as. Oop! I thought we were getting the fold.
Oh, he does get the call.
Nice.
Boy,
King 10.
Nice call by Mike.
Nice call by Mike. Wow, I'm really surprised. I thought he was folding. Everything about his body language told me he was folding. Really good call by Mike. I didn't see it as a value bet. Maybe a reverse psychology kind of bet where you're just like, hey, I feel like my hand's good, so I'm going to overbet this, hoping to get a, But what are you targeting there with that bet? To me, it almost seemed like you're targeting a better king.
Yeah, typical
Live 10, live
theory would say you don't turn a hand as strong as King 10 into a bluff. But potentially he was trying to get him to fold exactly what he had there. But maybe he's targeting like a pocket tens, pocket jacks, because he kind of under rep top pair, given the action. But I would assume that was a value bet.
Now tell us what you think, Chad. I mean, that was such an unusual bet for Terry in that position. At that, I got the feeling that he was trying to make it look a little bluffy.
And you had King 9 too, huh?
Darren pointing out Mike's running well.
Yeah,
he certainly is.
Now it's his hand.
4 players.
Now it's his hand. I don't know.
Check 4, check 6.
Nut flush draw for Benji.
Bet 100.
Hot pair for Manny. Not so hot a kicker, but he does bet it.
Raise C4.
Looks like Benji's going to raise it up.
Yeah, it's got the nut draw here, and Manny facing this raise, not really what you want to see when you have a pair of aces. It's a 9 kicker.
I ate right before I got here. So. I'll just go home and make a banana split for dinner.
Is a 2-to-1 favorite, or nearly a 2-to-1 favorite.
Zero pocket split. I saw him on the list. I was interested in how this interaction would go.
He didn't play Monday either. He was on the list for Monday.
I know.
Body language does not look strong. I assume this is going to be a fold.
That game was like.
You think they're gonna run it again?
I hope that out for longer.
I mean, run whatever.
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Some people liked it, so I mean, I'd rather do like a kilo.
They kicked anyone out or made anyone.
Oh, really?
I played the last day.
Nice play by Benji. Gets Manny to fold the best hand. Did have a ton of outs.
Nice.
The 7 of hearts.
7 deuce of hearts, man. Pair and a flush draw.
The 10 is on, guys.
No, it kind of shifted. Now, before we just had 2 or 3 that were in the red, but now we've got just 3 that are in the green. Although Dante and Kevin, not really in the red by much. Benji's pulling himself a little bit out of the hole there.
$10 straddle.
Needs a couple of good hands to do that. Mikey out front.
Yeah, it seemed like you were in a tough decision.
New York Mike.
Yeah, nobody terribly stuck. Everybody one hand away from being in the green.
Yeah.
That's a big fold right on the flop. But you're gonna have to call a lot on the
raise
turn,
35
so.
Yeah. Watched bits and pieces, but it was. I don't think
Have an ace queen off and Benji
Raise
with a mystery ace.
Yeah, it didn't look like you were gonna.
I don't even want anything 9
I didn't make a no.
So I called 375. There's 4 something in the pot.
Kevin deciding if he's going to take the Lottie line or if he's going to come over the top of the 4-bet. Looks like he's going for the 4-bet.
Raise. Seat 2. 375 total. 375.
This is where Benji, probably not having played with Kevin before, doesn't really get the same visceral reaction that the rest of us do. I know if Kevin 4-bets me, anything short of aces or kings makes me really nervous.
375, a decent amount of cash, but both players very deep.
So we're going to go in the tank a little bit with Benji here.
Ace on this flop would certainly be spicy.
Yeah, I think this pretty much has to be a suited ace, unless it's ace king.
Or ace jack.
Well, it could be, but I can't imagine him calling a 4-bet with ace jack. You're dominated so much.
Might have the same hand, in fact.
They might. They are not Lottie believers that ace queen is a horrible hand. Kevin makes down bets now to 25.
Yeah. It was a 13-inch. Like, back in the day, like when we were in high school, like we had like Suburban, and it was a big deal. They had a VCR.
We had one of those in our Suburban.
I don't think Kevin puts spins me on the ace jack either.
Maybe ace jack of spades
would
make sense.
I think ace jack, ace 10 of spades might call.
Kevin is uncapped here as played, so he could have everything aces, kings, and now that he's going to slow down.
Because we weren't allowed to play it. That was the only way I could play it.
You could hook up an old Xbox.
And play along with Benji here. What do you think he's got?
The TVs were on the back of the seats, so you could actually play.
Well, Kevin checking here is
how do you hook it up? Just like HDMI?
somewhat telling.
No.
Benji's like, in my mind, I've just shifted from calling and maybe being nervous if I don't have the back. And again, we don't have a bit. So now my opponent check, and I feel like, okay, he's nervous about what I'm calling with.
I think if he bets 400, it's ace jack, and if he bets 800 or 900, it's ace king.
Or he's just taking advantage of this this check by Kevin. I agree with you, but
Yeah, they're complex. We played like
I think the TV
he is going to make a sizable bet.
Yeah,
I can't see it quite yet.
600?
600, yeah. I saw quite a stack of the 600 or 100s. Like dips.
Kevin in not a fun spot here with just ace high.
Yeah, and I think this, did show. We'll have to ask him later what that hand was.
Bomb pot this hand. Bomb pot.
Matter of fact, I'm going to go do that right now.
All right, we'll have a little reconnaissance from Tom. Figure out what the mystery card was from Benji.
I'm just asking. You don't have to. I mean, every time you ask for money, I would give it to you. But no.
Nice in there for Benji again, so he is on the road to even.
$25.
Down, I think, a bit over 2K at one point, now down 1,200. As we have just under 2 hours to go here at TCH Social Austin. I'm Kyle Frisbee, joined by Uncle T here in the booth.
Thank you.
I think we're making a change.
Bomb pot button is steady
When you make an $80 bet,
in the 5 seat.
count off the fives.
I've been instructed to hold for a second, guys. Everybody, if you could all rescan your cards, please. Thank you, guys.
I knew what was happening.
Seat 4. Can you do it one more time? Jesse's in there.
Okay, so he had ace king. He had an unsuited ace king.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never heard of it. It's not. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Benji, for sharing that with us. We didn't have a mystery on our hands. Darren, you making fun of my visceral reaction statement?
Check one.
I get that. I would like lower where my reaction is a little bit. Maybe call it a pucker factor. Either way, you get the point.
Fold 4, fold 5.
I think this hand may have occurred while producer
Fold
to
9,
break,
fold 1.
essentially. No, there's bets. Here we go. What do we got? TM. Trip Kings. Trip Kings for JY. Nobody with a friend.
TM with the bigger kicker, ace king.
Who's got the bottom?
Just had backdoor hearts. Now front door hearts for the bottom board with ace king.
Yeah, TM has turned the king high flush draw.
Sorry? Yeah, seat 3, bet 180.
So we got diamond draws and heart draws on the bottom. Diamond draws also on the top, but king queen is. Terry's hit this board pretty hard with the heart, second nut heart draw on the bottom, and with the nut boat on the top.
Yeah, TM with a good shot at scooping here.
Yep.
25.
He don't hate this hand yet.
Got 20 back here.
Always nice when you have a second nut draw and the nuts.
Yep, and the hearts get there.
So TM with
TM
a
is
scooper.
just scooping her way here. Now he doesn't have the nuts because there's not an ace hearts out there, but he's not worried about much. And I believe he's in position. Yeah, he's in position to boot. So he's going to get to see the action in front of him. So what size bet do you make here that you want things like worse hearts or worse boats to call? Now we know that there's not much that can call him.
Bet seat 3, 1,000.
It's like he's going full pot, trying to get max value, but I don't believe he's going to get called.
No.
I think, you know, we can see the card, so it's easy to say, but I probably with TM's hand, I go 500-600 and try to get called.
Yeah, I was thinking 450 in my head.
See if Manny wants.
I wanted about 33 to 40%.
Manny with just a one-way hand here. He's Jack 8 is.
Nah, he's never calling.
Yeah, he's got a.
Manny always takes the exact same amount of time to fold. He thinks it through very thoroughly, and then he makes great folds. That one's just a good fold.
Bomb pop button's right for the next one. Button is
Nice
right
spot there
for
for TM.
Yeah, $1,300. I actually won $810.
But I could also have the open ender at a wrap.
Well, you want to say about that nuts. It's a bad night of Hold'em gone good, or a good night of Hold'em gone bad. And that puts Manny in the more good range. He's up 1.8 at 1.6.
Definitely had some Hold'em sessions bailed out by scooping a big bomb pot.
Yeah, I say Manny. That was actually Terry that pulled into the green range. So it's been a pretty static lineup all night. AY and Benji getting down early and staying down. Kevin serving both sides of the line from time to time. And Manny and Mike leading the charge all the way through as we into our third hour. TCH Social live in Austin. 5, 5, 10, 25 is the game. Uncapped. A lot of the familiar faces. The Whammo, Kyle Frisbee here with me and the team. Tom Gardner with you tonight. Appreciate everybody in the chat.
It's absolutely. Yeah. I love that you tried to cover.
I did. Well, you know what? If they ask, I'm going to say it's my fault.
Where you rack up the shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I saw you rack.
Okay, my bad.
You told me to do that 2 times.
Call one.
What's going on, man? Can't get your card scanned?
Yeah. Ray, seat 2, 50.
Yeah, that was.
Fold 3, fold 4.
You know,
Call 5.
I wish I would have known about it.
7.
Thanks for letting us know. Take your thing off.
Yeah, you got to yeah. Take the microphone off.
Automatic folding
I made that mistake.
It's all one.
Raising the king jack off suit.
I made that mistake. I tried to play it back. I couldn't figure out what time it was.
We'll have once in a while.
But,
Got my
I don't think
favorite and lovely 9-7 suited.
Well, that actually
Steady.
hit Mike real hard.
And Mike flopping top pair and an open ender.
Checks around.
Does get checked around. Now he's got a trips.
It's
Just
been
hit him
Mike's
even
night.
harder. And he gets Manny to bet his 4.
You know when you buy yourself and then you go,
On a gutter ball.
Mike already got a big hand earlier with a better kick, trip 9s. So we'll see how he does with the 5s. In this case, he's got them all by himself.
But I also
Mike will hold.
Yeah.
told me about it.
That blocks is straight. No flushes. Feels pretty good.
Very nice, dude.
Manny with just a bluff catcher.
late does
This is not a very
the
bluffy looking
6,
bet.
5,
no.
4,
945.
2,
play every street.
1. Oh.
I don't understand how you would not know that.
Nailed it,
All
Uncle
right,
T.
you guys usually play out.
I probably not.
I know me some Manny. He's just, and you know, it's a
you gotta
great,
say.
great habit to get into. Taking the same amount of time with your calls as you do with your folds, as you do with your raises.
No, I'm gonna need
It's not a bad.
He literally pointed at you.
Give yourself
I'm sure they have
time.
coffee
Don't
here.
rush.
No. I need some pain relief supplements.
It's something I have to tell myself all the time.
I'll leave.
We got a live 10.
Gave
$10
up coke.
straddle.
Really?
No, come on.
$10 straddle is live 10.
Some really dry hands right now.
Call 1. Fold 2. Fold 3. Fold 4.
I feel like I've been like so card dead today.
10. Live
I've
10.
been, yeah, I can't even
Call
get
5. Raise. 40. C6. Fold 7.
Dante's turn with
Someone
9-7
else is
suited.
taking all the good hands. I don't know who it is.
Oh, I've seen that good
Dante's
hand.
been a little bit
Actually,
card
everyone's
dead. I
seen
can't think of a lot of big hands that he's really had pre-flop.
Oh yeah, he had that against me. Out.
Yeah.
Hovering around even, a little bit now.
Yeah. As we see a lot of middle spread and board.
Pocket 9s that I called the pre-flop.
Yeah, there's a lot of flops that could get everybody something.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down to play.
Spades.
And that's a good flop for Dante.
Yeah. Very good flop for Dante.
Top pair
10.
for Caleb.
960.
Gotcha, 9:45. That's like only 4 hours from the start of the game.
2 overs for Mike. It's going to come along.
60 is the bet. Call 5.
Yeah, I like that call by Mike with 2 overs. There's nothing on that board to make you fold yet.
15 back here.
Steady coming along with bottom pair.
4 players.
That is another story. Now Mike is open-ended now, so he may be a little more motivated. That, this may get down to Queen Jack versus 9-7. Caleb does bet it, and then of course really a complete brick at the end.
9.
It's going to make Caleb check. Mike is going to take a stab at it. Interesting bet. Very, very strange bet sizing. Extremely small bet sizing. And Caleb does call this with the 10. That was an interesting play by Mike. Now, I would have loved that bet if it was a 250 size bet.
65.
Yeah. I mean,
The pop button is right, guys. That is my time.
very small size. I mean, the plus side of that is that bluff only has to work like 1 out of 8 times.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
not
a
going
good
to
point.
get a lot of folds from much.
That's why you partner are so good for me to have with me. And you got that analytics side of it where, okay, well, I look at that, I'm totally confused. I know that I've got nothing. But I'm going to make a bet size that's going to be painful to exactly what I would have been thinking, which is a 10 that bet all the way to that point and then checked.
Yeah.
I'm targeting ace-10 there.
The irony there, though, is I guarantee you if you're in Caleb's seat, you're not loving having to call that because you're going to get shown a cruddy king a lot of the time.
Yeah, but if I got Queen Jack, I don't want him to not love calling. I want him to hate.
Yeah,
calling.
right.
So I'm thinking, why not put $300 or $225 to $300, anywhere from half to 66% pot, 2/3 pot. Why not put that out there?
Yeah, it would be interesting if there was a way to know, which we won't, how much Caleb would have been willing to call there. Actually, we had an overbet earlier from TM, and a lot of poker instruction would suggest that you should see a lot more overbetting strategy. And I think you could say with near certainty that an overbet there would have gotten through.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, of course, you have to pick those spots because going back to what I was saying, when you overbet, you've got to be right 90+% of the time to do it profitably. So
yeah, I think the reason that Mike kept the bet fairly small is because there were 2 players in the hand that it could have backed into a 5.
I was in Brentwood for like
You know,
4
may have been
years.
calling with second pair or the third pair, whatever it worked out to be at that point. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to target a bluff there, I'm going to make it painful.
What are we doing? 20?
Just like for the vacation.
And then I'm never showing anybody,
I just, you know,
except for the live stream.
I go to buy stuff in California.
Oh.
But I just love it. I love the weather, the area, the beach, yeah.
So ace-10 hits the ace. 2 diamonds, which nobody has.
Or like
any.
for tropical, I really like the Caribbean, you know.
I've really never been to the.
Jesse in the booth or in the box now.
I've never been to the Caribbean.
Love me some Jesse.
That's right. It's like warm water. It's like
Good player in his
year-round,
own
like,
right.
like
Very
crystal
good.
clear.
It was like
Now the diamonds come in the front door.
For all the Luca Masters.
Not in play here. Open-ended for TM.
Well, I usually
Wow, good. No
That's
way,
completely
dude.
good
No way
card.
to pull that out.
I actually have been. I've only been on one.
Matthew's
cruise
gonna
every
bet
now and then. It was
$100
like Russia. and
$130 bet. Pot. I don't know what is with me today.
It was a good turn.
I was on the phone today on 3 conference calls, and it was like English was a second language. Could not get a sentence out.
Didn't you have your Wheaties this morning?
Not, you know, I had a big old bowl of oatmeal with cherries, dried cherries, blueberries. Maybe all the blood rushed to my stomach.
Maybe you're allergic to antioxidants.
I like my
Yeah,
oxidants.
you guys want to do a round of 25?
Very well, maybe.
Yeah, I promise.
Very well, maybe.
Orlando was
Explains a
at
lot.
That's actually pretty similar to my go-to.
I say you guys want to do a round of 25?
Blueberries, oatmeal, Greek yogurt, a little bit of honey.
I have
Alright,
some
we got the
white
rest
toast
of
in
the
there. I put into my. I sometimes cut the oatmeal with the.
Well,
yolk.
no, it's us two that's been
So,
doing it. Like
that's a little
every
creepy.
one of
You
this,
and I have that same kind of.
You ever do
digestive
Swedish
capability.
oats? Where you soak them in milk overnight in the fridge and they're ready to go in the morning?
Seriously?
You eat it cold, it's delicious.
Cold oatmeal?
Mm-hmm. I actually
It
prefer
sounds
it.
horrible.
It just takes a. Try it one time and tell me what you think. Just let your old-fashioned oats soak overnight in whole milk.
Yeah.
Add your toppings as you normally would, and tell me you don't like it.
Jesse, get after him. He's not putting
Okay.
the cap on this.
Somebody back me
Oh,
up
yeah,
in the
that
chat
happened last
about
week, remember?
Swedish oatmeal.
Wait, what?
It's like but
Now, I
it's
don't
got
use
such
oatmeal.
a it has a significantly different texture. So I get that, like, if you cook oatmeal and then eat it cold, that's kind of gross. It doesn't have the same texture.
Really?
Yeah.
It's less mushy, maybe.
Like, just imagine, as we have a hand going here, so nobody with anything but ace high. And he got a bet with the best hand.
Yeah,
as we debate breakfast foods. Yeah, so
Even though they lost the other night, they won.
I'm sure you've had like granola cereal that you eat cold.
No.
You ever had like a muesli cereal?
Yeah.
Cold
Yeah, I
cereal?
mean, I do.
What'd you have?
Not granola, because it has too much sugar in it typically. I do though.
Oh, you wanted to do
A whole bunch of like stuff you can get up at Sprouts with like a mixture of nuts and.
Yeah, granola.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the stuck together granola. stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even
There you
know.
go.
Muesli would be the
6-7.
right word.
Suited. Yeah.
No, so
Yeah, I do that.
it's got a much more like cold cereal type. Think of it as like homemade cold cereal.
Okay. And you think it'll work fine with oat milk? Because I don't do milk.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
No, yeah, pop. Yeah.
Oh, that was interesting. I can't eat it tomorrow though.
Cannot?
No, I had
Blood
oatmeal
work.
today.
Oh, you not.
Still waiting for the day when the
Let's just say if I ate it tomorrow, it would be life changing, and I mean you would hear my intestines squeak as I walk tomorrow. It's a really good car wash for me.
I thought maybe you couldn't have breakfast because you're getting your tea levels checked or something like that.
And like what's funny is like
Top pair
I
here
finally
for
had, like,
Steady
and
gutter ball for JY.
And then one time when you 3-bet him, I had sixes. I was like, finally had an end.
I did have those checked. You know, you get to the end of a certain age, and I was very gratified. I mean, my doctor said I had the T levels of a 38. And he showed me the graph. And I'm like, yeah, well, nothing else on me is 38. That's good. At least something.
Should change my name to Granola. A7 suited with the looks like nauseous face at oatmeal. Fair enough. It's definitely not for everyone.
No.
But it is a great complex carbohydrate that helps with brain function. So have a bowl of oatmeal and then go play cards. See if you don't play a little better.
Really?
Yeah. I used to eat oatmeal before job interviews for focus.
Oh. Yeah, I guess I grew up in a different era. I mean, in the 80s, we just did a line and then we went to our job interview.
Oh, yeah. Made sure you were fully alert.
Yes. Yeah, very talkative, you know. Laughed out loud, a little too loud. No.
Well, I was doing that and I saw everybody's face like, no, don't raise. And I was like, okay.
So you do a line of oats before you go to a job interview?
Yeah.
Like Ozzy Osbourne did a line of ants.
Ants, yeah, that's legendary.
Legendary.
All right, we've got cooler-ish ensuing here. Both TM and JY flopping top pair. JY with top.
And we saw the ace-5 catch up earlier.
Yeah, Dante can have a sneaky strong hand with the 3 on the turn. Looks like 7 instead.
Pretty much of a nuts card. 5-6 is the nuts right now, but
Yeah. Well, what are you doing here?
My phone's just not playing.
Oh, nice.
There wasn't a secret.
His name was on the list, wasn't it?
I'm right
Dante
here
does
playing.
call. Maybe trying to set himself up
Yeah,
for something
I didn't actually
deliberate. That's
come
not
here
a
this week for
bad
poker,
card
but I want to play this one stream.
to set you up. I look for these opportunities, and when I hit something like second
no?
pair,
are you talking about the
my
the meetup
story
game they have to watch today?
is in my head. I am repping the
They
A.
had like I think it was like
just limp
Airball
along
and Doug and whoever.
regretfully,
But
falling
I
off
didn't make
of
it.
my
I like slept in too
second
late today.
pair, and bingo.
It's an interesting
Yeah, I know,
spot
it's
with
probably
JY.
sick,
He can
even
just
for
check
1-2,
back, take
but-
his showdown value. He's going to win a ton of the time.
No, they were playing 1-2.
But I like going
was
for
a
more
meetup
value
game.
here, and it looks
Yeah.
like that's what he's going to do.
No, they're
Yeah,
playing a
an
25.
8 would have bet him,
50
or even a
tomorrow,
bluff
and
to
then
the
like
8
one.
would have bet him already here.
Yeah, but they're playing.
TM
like,
getting a
at the
pretty good
lodge, they have, like,
price
25,
with
50
top
tomorrow,
pair
like
still.
100, 200 Friday, but there was
Knows
a
that
game
if JY bricked
Yeah, I would have played.
some type of
So.
draw,
This week's
maybe.
mostly a vacation.
Nice fold by TM.
Yeah, very good fold. He didn't make that fold before, and he did that time.
As opposed to what?
JY will win a nice spot.
So
Well, folks, if you'd like to play in our live stream,
how is that taking
let
the
us
time
know.
off,
You
though?
can always contact me, Uncle
I didn't
T.
hear him say it.
I am on
Oh, in 2 months.
Telegram,
Why in 2
and you
months
can
ago?
also call up to the front desk. And if you'd like to
Oh,
play
okay.
one of our specialty
Oh, you got a
games, or
job?
if you have a game
Ah,
that you'd
nice.
like to suggest for a live stream, we'd love to hear from
Oh
you.
shit!
And also contact Kristen.
All right, yeah. Are you here
Yeah,
for a
just-
while?
Leave us a message. Give us a call. Find me on Telegram.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'll be here through Sunday.
And,
We should hang out later.
We'd love to hear from you. We're always looking for new players, new ideas. Not new moderators. Sorry, buddy.
And Mike waking up with ace king, and he's going to flat again with ace king. Caleb with ace queen,
Yeah, Mike's been real consistent with
also
his
flatting. TM gonna set mine here. Unfortunately, Steady's got and JY have his sixes, so no sets coming for TM.
I did fold.
And it doesn't look like we're going to get to the middle lower part of the board, and we don't. So Caleb flops best.
Mike looking for a 10 for Broadway.
Mm-hmm. No real backdoors in place. Unlikely that TM's going to strengthen as there's a 6 off the board with JY. Barber's going to bet it, as he should, with the best hand. Not too much of a strong bet, just under $10. So a quarter-size pot, or I guess it was 20% bet. Does get called. And now the ace-king comes in.
Now a very connected board, but pretty good shape here.
He's going to make a value bet of $150. Same size bet. 1/6, almost 1/7 pot.
Man, he can fold or bluff. And he gets out of there. And Caleb here with second pair and a gut shot.
Let's make the call.
Mike will hold.
That card doesn't change anything. So if Mike's going to bet he's in position. He's got showdown value. Yeah, he doesn't bet. Takes it down. Another good hand for Mikey. Stick around with his kind of one-legged, not gut shot, but draw and hits the king.
Yeah, I think that's a good check back from Mike, as opposed to JY going for value with top pair, top kicker on the previous hand. Too often, if you bet there, you're only going to get called by like bottom 2 pair, or maybe queen jack 2 pair, or something that's afraid of a straight, doesn't want to bet out and get raised.
Yeah. Well, let me pick your brain a little bit here and talk about fold equity. Are you evaluating, if you're in Mike's position there, what the fold equity of your opponent is in an earlier position? Are you
on what
thought
street?
Process on that check down?
I meant
What do you mean by fold equity in that spot?
I mean, are you evaluating what you can? Now, you're trying to evaluate what you can get. You're going to make a bet.
Oh, yeah. It's like, what's the maximum amount that you think your opponent can call with what you?
Are you thinking about that at that
100%.
position? Obviously, Mike was happy to take the pot and go home. But are you thinking about that in a position where you pretty much are sure you're good? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to decide how strong. I mean, as simple as just trying to evaluate how strong I think they are and what is the maximum amount of money that they could call.
Because he got a call on the turn.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get that call on the turn, I don't think, okay, because that card was such a brick, I'm bad suddenly. When he checks to me on the river, I'm thinking about a bet. And I'm thinking about, okay, I got $150 out of him on the turn. What is he willing? Because the card is such a brick. He's going to be willing to call something. What can I get out of him on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. With that specific hand, I think that the check back is a small value bet is fine too, but I think the check back is probably the best play because also
you don't want to get raised.
Yeah, you don't want to get raised. I mean, if a lot of times Barber, or too often maybe, Barber's going to have a hand like maybe the worst straight, or that, a 2-pair type hand that is afraid of a better straight, or a top 2-pair, maybe even a set, even though a set was pretty unlikely there.
Yes.
Based on the pre-flop action. But yeah, to your point, I mean, always just trying to figure out if you can squeeze a little more value and what is the max bet they can. I think a lot of times people have a standard bet size, and that's, I think, the point you're kind of making here is, if you just always bet 2/3 pot, well, maybe 1/3 is all they can call, and taking into account what you think they have or how strong you think they are, is those small value bets add up.
I think that I see so many players afraid of betting for fear they're getting trapped in a situation where there's almost never a trap in play.
Yeah, I think I see way too many checkbacks, especially at the 1-2 level, with people afraid of monsters under the bed.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, that's a good way
if
to
you're
put it.
never going for thin value and getting called by slightly better, then you're probably not going for value often enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be willing to just tap the table and
So here's the thought process I go through. I don't know if this is faulty, good or bad, because there's always some poker coach that's going to tell you how to think. And I always say poker coaches that at the table are worth every penny you're paying for them. But I'm thinking in this terms. Okay, I've run through all three scenarios. Okay, what is the value of my check back? Avoidance of disaster. What's my value that I can get out of my opponent? What is his fold equity? Where is he sitting? And then also the third, what am I willing to call if he comes back over the top? Like he takes it as an opportunity.
And in addition, I 100% with you on all those points, and I would just add one additional is this player capable of raising as a bluff?
Yeah. Well, so many times when you're playing 1-2, you don't know the player's well enough to make that assessment. That's the whole reason I put that in there. Now, there are some people that I absolutely know love to trap that I would just take the fold or the check back. But if I don't know the player very well, I read through my mind. Okay, I have no idea if this guy's a lunatic or not, or if he's just PO'd that I did make a bet and was trying to trap me, or if he's trying to. I think very rarely they're doing it as a bluff.
Almost never at low stakes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. Okay, I bet. Like, say I repeat that bet as we basically ignore this inconsequential. I mean, Benji is going to scoop it because nobody hit anything on the bottom board at all. Clubs missed for Caleb.
I was going to be really unhappy if you
But
donked into me, you know.
I think in terms of, okay, say I make a $150 bet there on the river like I did on the turn when my kid is king.
Well,
because
the
I
queen
think
and
that
the
card
king
is
of hearts
totally
both came out, and the
valueless.
ace and jack already on the board. So
The fact that I just got smooth called is immediately makes me think.
I was going to beat you actually.
All right,
'cause you
this
were
is
gonna get countered.
narrowed. His hand range down to not nuts and a lot of ace queens and things like it was.
Yeah, a lot of.
So I'm thinking about, okay, if I bet 150 there, and they do decide to, hey, give me that because they're a really good player. I think this is not a recreational player's thought at all. To come back to check, hope I bet, and then on an inconsequential river card, having not done that on the turn, and I may be overanalyzing. But I'm thinking I want to get another 150 out of that person, and they come back at me for 450. I've already decided in my mind whether I'm going to make that call or not.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach too. Yeah, already have decided that ahead of time. Of course, once the chips are out there, of course it's easy to start second guessing yourself. But yeah, I think that's a question you want to. I mean, and that's not dissimilar at all to, say, making a call on the turn with a medium strength hand, knowing you're very likely to face a river bet. And you got to go ahead and ask yourself, well, I can call now, and I think I might be ahead, but can I call that next barrel with this hand?
I think it's just at that point that the way that rolled out, which is more common than it seems, where you're in position and you got what you think is the best hand. I think there's just so rarely that somebody's going to come back over the top. Although there are plenty of good players over there that are going to do exactly like Dante did on that one hand and say, this is almost never a bluff.
Yeah.
So really good players know what the scenarios are for any given hand of what is almost never a bluff, which they can turn into a bluff.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, as a general rule that applies to kind of all this is, and I think we're at this level, these players, this isn't going to be true as often, but when you're playing 1-2, 1-3, out on the standard floor.
You hit one?
Players, as a general rule, are going to call with their weak hands, and they're going to raise too often with their strong hands. So you can kind of bet with impunity and bluff with impunity until you get raised. And typically they're going to raise too soon, and you can just get away. And I guess the last thing that is, I see this happen a lot. People make grind calls when they get check raised on the river. If you're in a 1-2 game and you get check raised on the river, there is a 99% chance that that is the nuts or close to it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
10 high flop here, nut heart draw for Mike. Mike continuing to flop some hands. Manny's going to bluff. Semi-bluff, 2 overs.
Caleb, he gives it up.
Yeah, we just haven't had anyone flop a set with
Yeah.
a small or medium pair.
Yeah, you're right.
It's amazing how that works. Stream to stream and in your own sessions. It feels like I'll go a month without flopping one, and then I'll flop 3 in one session. And that is the nuts.
Unfortunately,
for Mike.
nothing that Manny can call with. He does make a bet. No, he checked. Okay. That was just pulling in his call.
Oh, and Mike's going to ask for it all.
Oh, he did bet 200. Okay. Sorry, our graphics took a minute. I thought I saw a $200 bet go out there, and the graphics took a little bit. But he's going to give it up.
This is a huge jam.
Yeah.
And
Mike-
speaking of
Mike
hands
shows the
always
nuts.
being the nuts.
You have to show.
Dante said you didn't even have to show. We knew.
That is fast as you're going to see Manny fold.
I just had a rough
That's
guess
true,
of what that
yeah.
hand was.
There was no countdown there.
Felt like a bluff to me.
And man, Mike, almost the only winner and up nearly $4,000.
I told him before he went to the table, I said, represent the boomers tonight. And he's doing it. Well, folks, we're on hand 57. It's been a great night. Jesse in the box tonight. Uncle T and Whammo commentating for you, trying to entertain. Mainly, as Whammo takes a break, I could just tell you, I just like to pick his brain. It's like I would like to pick Sam's brain. I would pick Lottie's brain more often, but it scares me, that place. That's, yeah. But we've had a good night. And hope you've enjoyed it. All of you in the chat, keep chatting with us. We haven't had much on the chat lately.
You're gonna go wild out there.
Hey, Caleb makes a bet unusually for him with a 5-4. And he gets called by Dante. He gets called by Manny. And he's got the best of it. Well, I take it back. I mean, he does have the pair. I was thinking that didn't connect. And it ends up being the best hand, 5s and deuces. And he's not going to get anybody to call him. Dante was hoping for a 4. Manny was hoping for an overcard. 5, 4, 3. Oh, started counting down too late.
I know. I caught the nuts.
Caleb takes one down. It's been a little card dead tonight. One of our tighter players. Not too unusual.
The nuts.
And as Terry takes a break. Once again, folks, we want to remind you of our tournament schedules that we have. We also have the Deep Stack on Sunday. On Friday night, we have our big tournament of the night. I want to say 10K. It was 20K for that during the tournament schedule, but it's 10K guaranteed hold'em tournament on Friday night. Always gets a great turnout.
Not worth it. Let me have the $10. Come on. I said 25.
Yeah, he said 25.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
Pocket Kings.
Pretty.
No.
That's the way give me some credit.
We also have daily tournament. So,
Yeah,
Well,
and of
Kings are
course,
usually
a
off-season.
great tournament schedule on Hijack Poker.
Yeah.
Ty, you'll see the whammo on there.
If they're not,
Shoves. I've not been on
if
there.
they're
in
not
a
off
little
to,
bit
we have a problem.
between my work
Well,
schedule
I said they weren't
and on the
suited.
weekend.
I'm
And
lying.
relatives in my life.
Play the Midnight Madness tournament with me tonight. Say hi.
Oh,
Good
meetup
chat.
game with Whammo on
Yeah.
Hijack Poker.
I will be in there.
Yeah, 25.
You said it lasts about 2 hours?
All right, this one I'll give
Yeah,
you.
usually it's a turbo structure, so
They're up one.
Tight
couple
fold.
hours ish.
That's my range.
Ish.
I can't believe it.
Now?
Those cards aren't coming now. Those cards aren't coming now. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say something to Dante. He's definitely sculpted his beard a little bit, giving him more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little structure. Manny with the kings.
No, I needed
Yeah,
somebody
we're
to
back
call.
to getting big pairs. It's been a while.
Big laydown. Big
I had
laydown.
one of your outs.
A little bit of a card deadness for the table.
Oh, in my face. We just called it.
Of course, he gets no action.
I've only got 9 once.
Wow,
Biggest
that's
hand.
unfortunate for Manny. You
No.
create that loose image, and you're especially
I think my
dangerous when
biggest
you finally have a
player has been
monster
like
like that and
6.
just
Yeah,
nobody with anything.
But I'm not going
Shadow
to play
again.
like Andy. He's run so good last two streams.
He's still the only other winner besides Mike tonight.
Yeah, it's been a lot of middle ground for people and not a lot of people in the green. We still got, as we're coming into our last hour and a half.
That's like 10 minutes.
Ooh, Caleb's turn with Big Slick suited. On the button.
0
Little
for
flat
like
Manny's raised.
Last
Choosing
hand
not
too, I
to 3-bet.
was because you were gone. Yeah, also garbage hand.
Everybody with the king.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's
monotone board draft by flop. Manny
Well,
with
there's no card.
the
I'm not
queen
catching
of spades.
I
He
love
bets and
Pick
Caleb
off. What do you want from me?
quick hold.
Yeah, drilling.
You only play 10%.
Wrong suit,
of your hand.
Caleb.
I make it funny. You guys want to play a 7
Nobody listens to you.
Hey, I'd rather we should do a round of
I'd rather
stand
do
up.
the Nick game. I hate the 7. Okay.
Nick game? All
Yeah,
right,
let's do Nick game
I'd
or
rather
stand
do
up,
the Nick
whatever.
game.
Yeah.
Nick game is the one where you try to get rid of your button.
You
You
don't
have
have
to
to.
win a hand, and then you give away the last person to win the hand.
You don't have
pay
to.
bounty.
Are we gonna spot Yeah, like $200, $300, $200.
Right, they have to pay.
Sure.
It's $200 if you lose.
You take this
Something like that.
Thank you, Leon.
Nick game, you don't
Knit
never
game
play
being proposed.
All right, then we don't play the Nick game.
I would have bet. I should have bet the Knicks tonight.
Be a great way
We're just
to
gonna do missionary
close
sex
out the
call.
night.
That's it. Just boring ass. Boring ass. I know. Oh, my wife.
If we do play the knit game, I will explain it. Although I imagine most of you listening live are familiar with that particular game. Nut flush draw here for Manny. Ace high flop. Nobody with an ace.
Be an old man.
Yeah,
God.
Guys, we need to stand up.
we're gonna go for a walk, man. Nothing's gonna.
Well, I think we should actually play stand up game. Like we need to stand
I'm
and
handicapped. I can't stand.
wait, actually.
If we're bored, man, imagine that.
I used to have a cane for years.
Yeah, I feel like you've had.
Oh, yeah. Team
Dead even equity on the turn as
I feel like
Caleb
you've had
catches a
everything.
pair of
Like,
deuces.
I'm
He's
not-
going to bet it.
I'm the luckiest man in the world.
They're still
I just
working
have
on
bad
it.
genes. Genetics.
And Caleb's pair of deuces are going to hold on.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
We'll win a decent little pot.
My wife made me.
He doesn't want with a pair of dudes. That's how slow the game is. That's how slow the game is.
You were so live.
I should say that was small-ish pot for
yeah.
this game, but still 450 American dollars.
It's kind of bad luck you didn't win that.
Danny's full of bad luck.
So you know, like some flops in here, just like I think this is good.
Live 25.
Well, it's a straddle. If you just look at the table, you can probably answer something wrong.
JY mulling over if he wants to play a suited connector from under the gun and chooses not to. Suited connector is not playing nearly as well
He needs the
from
extra 5.
very early position. Manny's going to raise up King 9 suited and get a call from Kevin.
What is the working thing?
115.
Steady in there with Queen 10 suited. And top pair for Manny.
Check. I'm a huge drag.
And JY would have flopped bottom 2 pair had he chosen to continue. Kevin calls Manny's flop bet with ace 10, and it's like Manny's put a sizable bet out and Kevin's out of there. Manny will win another nice pot, just over 1K, nearly 1,100 bucks.
No, he bets fast anyway.
I didn't see the
That will get his winnings for the night also up over 1K.
And he's out, please, for a bomb pot.
Just 2 winners, Mike.
Yeah.
Vacuuming up all the chips over in the 1 seat. No real big losers. Dante really just kind of been card and spot dead down 1,200. Just one big hand and get him all the way to the green. A lot of other small, medium losses for the other players.
Check.
To a bomb pot we go. A couple of jacks on the first, our top board. And Steady is the man with the jack. Pair of kings on the bottom board for TM. Same for Manny. He has a better kicker. Flush draw now for TM. Dead even equity between Steady and TM. Manny's going to bet out 200. But he's in tough shape versus TM and Steady in this particular spot. Steady will fill up, so he's got to feel much better about his hand on the top board. TM still good on the bottom.
Yeah, that king on the bottom really
And
helps.
Manny's going to keep betting.
Yeah. Maybe repping kings. TM knows that's not true.
Yeah, tough to bluff in a bomb pot, but TM really not a very strong hand to call this 425. It actually would chop the pot between Steady and Manny. Steady presumably calling with his jacks full.
What?
The graphics show TM called, but Oh, wow. And Steady has a good shot at taking this whole thing down. Manny's got to be out of there. And this is going to put a ton of pressure on TM. When Manny presumably folds. Steady all in for 1663.
Players can lead triple stack lots of increasing after completion of this and 1,000, 2,000 with a 2,000 big blind ante.
Yeah, Manny right now is going through his head. Okay, what beats me? Aces and jacks. I'm probably beat by that one leftover jack. You just got to consider those cards are out in the hand. The fact that it flopped jacks as trips means that any jack is probably going to stick around at this point. Now he's looking at the other board, trying to evaluate whether his aces are good there.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest keys here is
he's got a king in his hand, so he's really playing against one jack and one king.
Yeah, that logic. There's no way he's considering calling with
that. Is a very logical thought.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way, especially, and if he was against one opponent, he could maybe be good on one of these boards, but
yeah.
He already knows TM was willing to put in 425. Steady then jams over the top, so that's likely a nutted hand on at least one board.
Again, he's got to think about Queen 10 as well. Did the Queen 10 get there on the turn? Maybe Queen 10 if the person had a Queen of Diamonds in their hand and a diamond draw, so they just were willing to flat that turn, hoping that maybe they even hit straight flush there on the bottom and then really being able to crush it.
For Manny's sake, I hope he lays this down. I think this is a very easy fold. And he's out of there. And
probably Terry as well.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Terry. Terry with the much tougher decision. And looks like he has chosen to fold, and very nice win there for Steady.
Yeah, I always love to watch Terry when he makes a good fold or what he believes to be a good fold. He always kind of looks off to his right, like he's looking off at the television, or even when he's not having a television in his viewpoint, he is still running through the possibilities in his head.
He's also not going to let you know he was bothered or not.
No, he does not show anything. Not at all. You're as likely to get a read off of Kevin as you're off Terry. Even after the hand is over. Do you ever watch players after the hand is over?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I don't see people doing that. I had an incident with a player last night who beat me in a hand. I made a difficult call that was the wrong call. And I'm watching him, and then he proceeds to start analyzing the hand that he beat me on. By the way, folks, don't do that.
If you're scooping chips, just let it be.
Yeah, don't say, well, see, the reason I called is because da-da-da, and I figured you had a da-da-da. And right in the middle of him giving his explanation, I said, no offense, but I don't want to hear your analysis of my loss here. Thanks. And Daniel looked at me out of the side of his eye like it cracked him up. But I was watching to see his reaction, because I want to know. He flipped his cards over, but I wanted to know, get a little bit of information about how he felt about the hand. Was he really proud of it? Was he surprised that he won the hand? Things like that.
Yeah, you can, and actually to the point you're making of watching other players, you're losing a lot of value if you are not paying attention to how people behave in the hands you're not in.
Yeah.
If you're just playing when you have cards and the rest of the time you're on your phone or otherwise distracted, you're not maximizing your sessions for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Maximizing your session, as you put it, is all about concentration, not missing anything. When as Tiger Woods used to say, when I have my A game, when I feel like I'm playing my best, I am not missing anything. Now, I may not always interpret what I'm seeing perfectly or correct. I'm not that good. But I do want to see it. And if you're not maximizing that when you're not in a hand, there is so much more to learn sitting there watching a player that you're not in a hand with. I'll focus on one player that I don't have a good profile or feel for yet and watch him for 3 or 4 hands that he's in that I'm not in.
Yep.
$55 raise was meant to isolate.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Success. Jack.
Another monotone board, and that's going to be great for Caleb. We have our first flopped flush, I believe.
And being in position, he gets to see this action.
Actually has a straight flush gutter.
Now, this is going to be confusing to him because JY bet at his open-ender.
We're going to have to keep playing till it does.
Just a flat call, hoping for no more spades. One of the risks of playing a baby flush.
Caleb hates that card. The good thing for him.
In fact, he doesn't. He has a straight flush now.
Oh, he does.
There's the
the
one spade in the deck that he did not hate, and actually,
unfortunately for him, I was going to say fortunately for him, it was a bad card for JY as well.
Yeah.
Right, show it.
Got to show the straight flush.
Did he show it? Did show the straight flush? Oh, Barber depriving his opponents of an entertaining moment.
Yeah, watch it on the stream.
I
know people that are, maybe they'll make quads and not show it or whatever. I feel like
easily losing to
showing in general not really a good idea unless you're using it to manipulate your image. But yeah, your opponents, if you flop quads, they're not going to get a whole lot of insider info from that.
No, or a straight flush either. They might, you just throw over the 5 of spades there. You don't show your 5 deuce if you don't want to show. But you could have had ace 5 of spades as well, which is a totally legitimate hand to call with. So you're not giving away too much.
And big cooler materializing here for Mike. Mike, this is our first big pair versus another premium pair, and TM.
We haven't seen this all night.
With the Kings, have not seen it. TM 3 betting 225.
Has not walked into the Lions Den yet. As a matter of fact, he made a really good call against TM earlier.
And this is a very interesting spot for TM. If he knows if he 5-bets, his cards are somewhat face up, although he would be one of the players capable of 5-bet bluff. I think he's considering flatting. Is in position as well.
So you're in favor of a float or a shove here, huh?
Well, no, not a shove, but he is going to go ahead and 5-bet it. Some of the time you can flat there and disguise, and he's going to get a rip from Mike.
This really.
And TM's going to have to think this over. He's got a tighter player.
No, he just called. No, he just called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I heard, or I thought I saw the all-in
Well,
button.
he snapped him pretty quick. And now he does go all in? No, he just makes a $700
yeah,
bet.
6-high flop.
No, you make it. That's 1,000.
Phony in chat says carnage indeed. And now
carnage incoming, Phony.
He said all in.
Before he pushed off that?
Yeah, he did.
He said all in.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't hear very well. That's why I just saw it.
So TM's all in here over the top of Mike, and Mike makes the
snaps
call and
carnage.
almost 8,000 in the middle. Mike's who's been up all night, and
he
that
hits the
is
case
it.
king as well. Keep in mind that Barber had the other king, so he hit the case king.
Put the 4 of clubs on the turn.
TM not needing to improve,
but still gets there.
Hits the set on the turn, and
the hand of the night, 7,900 in the pot. Kings versus queens. We've been talking about how we haven't had big pair versus big pair all night.
Yeah, but I'm very conflicted on that hand. We love TM, but just hate to see Mike up all night, and it's going to lose all his profit and a little bit of extra change on that hand. Tony, you're right. Yeah, the king for the double dagger, drawing dead after the turn.
I thought it would have been more like ace versus king.
And going back to what we were saying about an analyst and being a gracious winner, TM just sitting there quietly waiting for his monster pot. No crazy celebration. Take note of that, folks.
And
not
don't
that any
say you're sorry.
Yeah, don't say you're sorry. And one thing you'll definitely notice, it is not a trademark of the very best players to do any of the celebrating or whining when they take a bad beat. Just take it and move on.
Yep, terrible, scary Terry.
TM up 3K now, sitting on nearly 8K.
Well, folks, it took us about 3 hours to get to that hand, and it was a doozy. Yeah, you ever consider folding queens there? 6-bet? Even on the 6-bet.
For Mike's sake, I hate saying it, but I do think you can get away from queens there.
Everything else is
but of the players at the table, you would be less likely to fold queens to. TM would be. He's going to have a slightly wider range when you're 4 and 5 betting, but definitely not going to call it a mistake on Mike's part. Just a nasty cooler.
Yeah,
tough to lay down an overpair as strong as queens there, but slight silver lining that only puts him down 289 for the night. He was the big winner up until that moment. So question from Michael. Yeah, thanks for the compliment on the stream. Yeah, it's been a fun night. You know 1-3 generally plays bigger. What are some of the differences in play between 1-2 and 1-3? Yeah, so I was asked this question by a player here at TCH last week, I believe. A player that was kind of dipping their toe in 1-3 and maybe 2-5 for the first time. As we get a king high flop, top pair for Manny, gutter ball for Dante, gutter ball also for Mike.
Now hard draw for Dante. He's got the gutter ball and the hard.
Combo draw.
Caleb gives out his 8.
Get back to your question after the hand, Michael.
I got some stuff going on. That 3 is yours. Thank you so much.
Thanks also for the super chat. Manny going to go for some thin value. Fortunately, Dante has missed. Biggest difference I see, there's going to be a lot more 3-betting lighter in 1-3. Also, I find that you're going to see a lot less of the just completely random junk hands. That somebody that just decided that I'm going to raise or I'm going to call a 3-bet with 10-3 suited or something like that. So it's going to be, ironically, the players are generally better, but it is a little bit easier to trust that you can put them on some kind of range based on their position and bet sizing. I think in that respect, if you're decent at putting players on a hand based on what range they should be playing in a spot, you might have some success there. You're going to see fewer blatant mistakes.
Yeah, that's what that was. Is what I was going to say. When we had the 1-3 game over in the other building, which I preferred to play in, because there was just a lot of donkey variance is what I called it at the time. I could actually relax because I knew that the players I was playing were all pretty good players, even just for that smaller size difference in pots and other things. Of course, we would also mostly mandatory straddle it, so it was a little bit bigger. But
I got you. I didn't even remember how it went. I actually didn't know what I had. I think I was going to call or playable.
Yeah. But probably when you first sit down,
I definitely had
if I were to sum it up to the simplest thing, you're just going to see a lot more aggression pre-flop. Like you got a lot more players at the 1-2 level platting with hands like
You don't remember?
ace
The old
queen
line.
offsuit. If somebody has ace queen
About the same
off
time I'm not
in position in a 1-3 game, they're going to be pretty likely to do that hand. You're going to see some lighter 3-bet bluffs, which you don't see as much at 1-2. So hopefully that partially answers.
Yeah, but
I would say that it's worth kind of shot taking if you're considering it. It definitely does play different. So
we have a 5 regularly now. We don't have a 1-3 like we used to.
Yeah, I did.
1-3 game. I like that size.
Yeah, but it was like a bigger, like a 4. It was a bigger one.
It plays like a dang 5-10 or 10-25.
You were ahead, yeah, ace jack, and I flopped.
And also, I agree with you, Tony. I want to point out.
Yeah.
Mike's my buddy, and
Is that
I'm
the
not.
one that it went
That
like
is
people
yeah,
chopped
it's
like
his ace.
15 ways?
That was I was a different one. I was in that one.
Okay.
I'm the
I
one
was in that one. That one too.
I'm the one that talked everybody into doing that job.
Bet?
Hey, we all get. What
About
was it?
that.
We all get 10,000.
I will say, funny.
Yeah, I know. I came out of that tournament. Yeah.
Like,
And I can't believe everybody bought it. Like, yeah, let's do it. I was
With
like, cool.
that
I mean,
board,
I should have done it because I came in fifth. I lost it.
Everyone got 10,000.
And then we played for the top 3.
So I totally agree with you. I would have liked to have seen Mike take a little more time to evaluate that in his head. But I also know Mike.
I was on the final table.
That's so much poker in his head already. It's
Quite
not
a lot
hard
of
to
poker.
Yeah. So
It was on a
I would have had a hard time, especially. I hate to say that this is how I think. After having a good night where I've got
I knocked him out. Like on the bubble or something. Then that's fine. Yeah.
and all
No,
that.
but then we played later, and we got down to 15, and I did the math. Like, everybody can get 10K, and then we just played for the top 3 spot.
Yes,
The winner was still get
Michael,
90K or something.
yeah, much appreciated.
That's what we did. Yeah, they already bought it. I had no chips. I ended up just shipping. I got 10K. The tournament was so fast.
You scammed them. That's what you're still
I got it. I enjoyed my.
Does it make sense to you when I say that I'm more relaxed at the 1-3 table or a 2-5 table?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think the absolute dollar amount also makes it a bit easier to represent and bluff with hands because most people, if they come to a card room, can afford to call down with bottom pair or a gut shot or something like that because the sheer dollars, even if you're betting 2/3 spot, maybe the first bet is 40.
I made the wrong decisions.
People, it's just not that much money. But when the people are starting to try to decide if they want to chase a gut shot when you're c-betting 175, 225, those larger amounts, they're a lot more likely to kind of respect the money.
I agree.
Top pair here for Mike.
Without sounding too negative, yeah, ace jack top for Mike. Not much other than a hard draw for 2 of the players. Dante's in trouble here.
Yeah, for Dante's sake, hopefully no hearts here. And that's going to give Mike 2 pair.
That is not a 9 as showing on the board. It is an ace.
Yeah, Mike's still ahead here.
Dante's actually going to rep the ace. Just because it's not a bad thought to think that Mike does have the jack. And so the ace might scare him. In this case, he just has both. Well, the other thing I always say is that at a 1-3 and a 2-5 table, you can't say one thing you can say about a 1-2 table. At any 1-2 table at any given time, there are probably 2 or more players there that are too inexperienced. I won't say dumb, too inexperienced to bluff. At 1-3, 2-5 tables, it's much easier, I think, to bluff and harder at the same time. Legitimate bluffs are easier to get through because sometimes you just have to realize that the person you just bluffed at a 1-2 table,
I don't know. I because he
inexperienced
got
with dumb,
like LeBron James.
they were unbluffable. So it takes a whole aspect of the game out.
I like your chances on this one, Mike.
We've narrowed it down to 2.
Huh?
Yours.
Check.
They're pretty good.
Queen on the river, and Mike holds. He's going to get a rebate from that big hand versus TM. Actually put him back in the green.
Yeah, it did. And you notice with Mike, there wasn't a moment of disgust in his face. He's rode these waves, rode these. He's been on these waves too many times.
Yeah.
He's not going to get. None of these players are really going to get tilted.
Yeah, I lose every hand.
What's that? Oh yeah, I had both and a king. What'd you have? I had a jack 8.
Well, folks, we're in our last hour of the night. This is
In the bottom?
team here with Whammo.
No, not I did.
This is TCH Social in Austin, live stream 5-5.
What did you have?
Generally with full straddle. And we've had a great night in poker. Hope you enjoyed it. His hearts show up on both boards. Very straighty board.
I put it for him.
Straight flush draw for TM on the bottom board.
Let's see if anybody has better hearts. And
Like the A's hearts.
TM.
No, that's all the hearts there are.
Top set for Kevin
Yeah,
on
Kevin's
a very
at the top
connected wet
set.
board.
Is there a king 10 anywhere there? The 10s are taken up at the top. Nope, because there is no king 10. So no nuts on the top. It's a set of queens. And the nuts on the bottom would be 8, 9. And I don't see that either.
I think we have another high equity hand, probably from Benji. And
Oh, there's the 8, 9.
King 10 straight.
Yeah,
for
so
Benji.
steady does have the nuts on the bottom, the 8, 9. Which I don't know if he folded it. He must have.
And the board gets straighter on top.
So those kings, king 9, it's showing a lot of equity for Terry with
Yeah.
those kings.
King 9 and King 10 have the same straight.
And he can still hit a heart, which doesn't happen. So the queens are no bueno. No, what?
Yeah, King 9, King 10 are going to chop the top,
And
and
the queens
Kevin's
are going to be queens and 6s are going to be on the bottom. Yeah. No, it's
or
got to
no,
be kings and
Kings would
6s.
beat that.
Where
Where
do you
do
have
we
the bottom
have?
one,
Well,
right?
we have a set of. I don't know why we're showing a chop partially for Kevin here exactly, unless we got a misread on one of the cards.
Yeah, it looks
So
like
it was
we
a good push.
King Queen for Kevin and King Jack is
Well, you know what helped me because the king
yeah
is on the bottom.
is going to be
So
the
I was
top.
afraid of the king.
So the King High straight for Benji and Kevin, and then the set of 6s on the or the trip 6s on the bottom.
yeah. So
So
TM.
TM does not have a straight
Yeah, yeah.
on the bottom. He has a lower straight. Now, why does he have a lower straight? King 9.
Oh, you know what? The top is being chopped three ways,
He's
and
getting
TM has the
6 and a
bottom.
half. Yes. Okay.
We got there, folks.
Okay. Yeah. Took me a while.
I'm glad. I didn't
My partner bailed me out of that confusion.
great with it. Yeah, I know.
Hopefully, chat gives us a pass after over 3 hours. It's a lot of cards to keep up with, folks.
Yeah. Benji does make the call with the ace king being the best possible hand on the top.
If that 8 don't come, I have
He's
nothing.
not afraid just to have
That's
king high
three jacks.
straight. He does have a set of jacks, which is a bit of a backup,
Like
but
that one,
really on that
8
board
on the
it's
river.
not helpful. Not any better than
But like I said, I wasn't afraid.
Kevin
of the king.
gives up his king high
Two people
straight.
in, a king in the bottom.
So this is going to end up being 3/4 for Terry.
You get 3/4. I was just hoping you didn't have
Kevin's
these-
like, wow, I would have had to call to get a 6th.
God, that
I'll let y'all
fucking-
do the math whether that was worth it or not.
No, I
Says,
mean
by the
10
way,
on the turn on the
Baba
top.
Yaya
That screwed me.
says, by the way, brilliant statement about watching players even when you're not in the hand. I don't hear that really from commentators.
Well, appreciate that.
What do you appreciate?
Comment
I'm
of the
one that
night.
said it.
I thought I did. I guess we both did in different ways.
You know, the one thing you can count on us is to be humble.
That isn't a straight flush.
No,
we both accept your
That's like $50 I call.
No matter who it was directed to.
You know, all I can tell you is we're both single guys that don't get complimented enough.
You know, that's true.
By the way, ladies, recently voted one of the top 5 poker playing single men catches in Austin. Whammo.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Uncle T.
No, brother man. No. This horse is strictly a barn horse at this point. You're still out there in the pasture. Thank you for the comment.
I'm resisting the urge to refer back to your 38-year-old T levels. I guess I didn't resist.
I do say, and it drives my daughter crazy, but I do say that I'm a 39-year-old, in my mind, I'm a 39-year-old white male heterosexual. One of those is wrong. I'm not going to say that.
All right. Can we get a set with a low pair? Has not happened yet tonight.
Eddie with the 8s. We haven't seen the Snowman too much. 8s versus 7s.
There's a set. It had to happen.
You in the window. You asked for the doggy, and the doggy's sitting in the window.
And open ender for Dante.
Yeah, Queen 10 will always stick around here. No backdoor, but he is open-ended. Backdoor for Caleb, he's going to give up. Eddie makes the call, which is pretty standard.
Pretty connected board, so this is one of those interesting spots. Does Benji want a flat, or does he go ahead and raise now? A lot of turn cards he would not like. Any queen, ace, 10, all bad. And he's going to charge.
Rightfully so. Although this board is not too moist.
It could be wetter.
It could be wetter. Yeah, it could be more humid. He does want to charge the fee, and Dante is going to pay that, so he needs a 9 or an ace.
Big pot brewing.
Oh, how about quads? And it doesn't matter. First quads of the night.
Unfortunately for Dante, or for Benji, Dante has the one hand he would have or may have called with that cannot pay him off if he bets big here.
It's hard to imagine ever getting quads and wishing you hadn't, but this kind of qualifies.
Oh, he's going to check it. He's going to give him some rope.
And he doesn't play with Dante, I'm sure, very often, but this is the right guy to give a little rope to.
Yeah, and he...
Oh, no, just
checks back.
Was that a 10 at the end or a 9? It's a 9.
Oh, no.
No.
Second massive cooler of the night. And Benji checks to him again.
Oh, brilliant check, Benji. My brain score for you just went off the charts. I think Dante's gonna size here. He's thinking about it, maybe 750. You know, a half pot size bet. He's got to feel pretty good. He hopes that Benji has a 7.
If Dante somehow checks back here, it would be the play of the night.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever.
Oh no, we gotta.
Fuck this sucks.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I knew it.
So he made it 975.
We had lagged there, so Benji did not pick river.
You kind of like
He
smiled.
got all red. He got all red.
He like
Sorry
kind
about
of
the
lit
graphic.
up.
Oh, what a beautiful 7.
Yeah.
Benji did bet the river there.
I was hoping you'd bet the turn.
And then he was trying to think about the turn. Like the only thing. Like, what do you do?
This is gross pot.
I thought for sure you had queen 10. I was just like,
nail your straight.
Oh my god.
Only losing to boats.
Just seemed the way the hand played.
Or quads, of course.
Wow. I thought he did check as well. I thought he needed to check. But in any case, yeah, that was the second cooler of the night.
What?
I was gonna bet it.
And Benji
Yeah, and then I
down
jammed.
2K at one point has swung almost 3K back the other
After if
direction.
I check and you bet and I jam,
Big old river.
you know, I get way more. You're folding the river?
Well, it depends on how much.
Steady and Manny have kind of
well,
faded.
as
Mike
long as
is
you check-
definitely because of a big hand against TM.
Oh, can I?
But he's still in the green.
Wow, first straddle. of the
Somebody's
night.
got kings.
That is JY.
Oh, and JY, I believe in the straddle.
Yeah.
So what a spot to pick up a big pair. Boy, things heating up late. Unfortunately for JY, nobody else with much
Yeah,
here.
you probably
Kevin
also fold the turn
raised
if I
queen
bet big on
8,
the turn.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought checking was my best chance. Should have just done it one more time.
they're going to call with the suited ace, and
I mean, I don't think if you raise that, I don't think I'm
here's the
calling.
3-bet.
Because there's a boat. I'm never putting you on quads, but there's a boat, right? You had pocket jacks or something like that. How much?
Yeah, 350.
One advantage JY has is that it didn't come to fruition there, but that is a spot that's very squeeze heavy, and these players certainly have that in their repertoire. But
yeah, but I mean, it's also a trick
played a lot of
like
hands
not many
tonight, so he might have gotten a little
I
bit
could
more
have.
respect for not just
He
squeezing
literally is like started smiling.
than he
When I
normally
started
would.
that, he was like, could not help it.
it's also a very quick 3-bet.
I agree. That's a good point.
I say you played it good. Turn.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
played it
I
good.
checked the turn at least. That was definitely,
Yeah, a lot of players will take a little extra time when their decision isn't automatic or essentially automatic.
It was funny though. That was like one of the few
One thing that
times
people
I
that
could put
watch
someone on his
streaming and
exact
watch
hand
high
just because it was like,
quality
Yeah, you
upper
called in
echelon
too.
poker or bigger stakes,
Yeah, yeah,
poker,
I knew it the
however you
moment
want to
he
put it,
called the flop.
they don't seem to learn from. Is if you watch, I watched. You remember when we had T1000 Stash, Trey, Crypt Max, everybody came over for that game. I don't think I could think of any of the players at that table, ours that typically play here, or those
By the river, yeah,
more
hell
visiting
yeah.
players that play over at Walmart more.
Yeah, I was
often.
happy to see that I wanted an ace or a nine.
I don't remember any quick decisions.
Of course, yeah.
There's just no reason in poker to do things quick, and there are about 20 reasons why you shouldn't.
Well, I mean, it did. I got
The
1,000
big
more
two
than I
being
would've did.
it's big tailed, and the second one is it's a bad idea to make snap decisions
Yeah.
when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to play fast. Now, having said that, I'll sit at a 1-2 table and throw my calls out there really quickly.
Get paid.
And you don't want to at a 1-2 table play really freaking slowly, as Mike has nothing that he
The
can
problem is
be
there
called
was
by.
bet call on the river, another state. And it just sucks that he checked.
But
He kinda gave
if you
up.
watch Terry, if you watch Kevin, if you watch some of the more accomplished
Like
players,
if I check the turn,
Manny
it's
is really good about it. We've seen it from Benji.
I've got 75
Playing
on the turn.
deliberate, I won't say slow. Playing
Built.
deliberately is just, there's so many
I
advantages.
know, I don't think he.
Yeah, and I think it also goes to
I think he didn't want to see that four spade.
it takes more time when you're thinking about more possibilities and ahead as well. So just naturally, it should take a little bit of additional time. Like you'll see with some of the more experienced players, they're in a spot, they're considering folding, calling, raising. All three are on the table. When a lot of more beginner type players, they have a marginal hand and they're just thinking, I can fold or call. Don't even consider the possibility of raising as a bluff or things like that. So,
Well, have you ever worked in a decision tree analysis ministry?
For sure.
Okay. Yeah, because some people do and some people don't. In my business, we do fault tree analysis, we do failure mode and effects analysis, we do risk analysis, we do all these different analyses. And if you have it in your brain with poker, and I'm trying to apply this more, it's one of the things we talked about when you and I were talking about self-educating, be a little autodidactic. If you need to develop a decision tree in your head about every hand. And that's what I see these guys do. And I know Kevin's brain is going to failure mode and decision tree analysis, regardless of what he calls it. As this hits big for the King 9, who's
Manny flopping it
open-ended with
straight.
top pair, And Manny's got the jack nine. This is a big, not for Caleb, but this is a pretty good flop for both. Backdoor diamonds as well. Not backdoor, just diamonds as well for JY. This is pretty much of a nut versus drawing to nut.
The other guy had 3 tens. The other guy had 3 tens. If you hit the other 10, we split about 180.
That's why they run those promos, because it never happens.
Top pair gutter. Diamond's good too. Can't be super excited about the 9. Although, with the 10 queen king, the 9 of diamonds is not that bad.
No, he's drawing to third nuts with the 9 of diamonds. Only the ace and jack, which are not in play, obviously. And he just makes the call. He doesn't have a problem catching up. That is not it.
Pretty bricky brick on the turn.
Pretty bricky brick.
Pretty bricky brick. Manny.
Very brick like bricky brick.
That's a good game last week.
Gonna keep charging here.
That's fun, Last Wednesday. 80 points, not even that.
Like this bet size for Manny. The hands that he's ahead of are going to call. The hands that beat him are going to raise a lot of the time.
Clock.
Did Eddie just call the clock? Yeah, he did. And he gets a sharp stabbing look from JY.
Damn.
Don't really blame him for calling the clock. Don't really blame him for giving him a sharp look because it was right at the 1 minute mark. So it was maybe a little over 1 minute.
Yeah. I try to err on the side of giving people a decent amount of time. Of course, and this is something I would encourage everyone else to do, is consider how big the pot is, for sure, or how big the bet they're facing is when somebody's tanking. If it's for a considerable amount of money, which in that case, decent pot developing, I try to err on the side of giving people their time.
Yeah, I have a basic policy of never calling the clock, with exceptions. If there's a player that I think is being ridiculous repeatedly, then I'll call it.
And
I'll look at other players when they're getting agitated and give them feedback. I'll say, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Don't be afraid to call the clock.
And actually, and if there is a time where your internal clock is going to be a little shorter, as Caleb flops top 2, Manny and Dire Straits here. Calling clock more important in tournaments because you have the blinds going up. So
that's where I see it
especially in your weekly tournaments that are 15-minute blind levels. If somebody tanks, they're taking up, 20% of a blind level. That's way too much for one hand.
Well, so this is what I encouraged somebody the other day. I was like, somebody was really, not the other day, it's been about a month, really irritated at somebody calling the clock on him in a turbo, essentially. And I said, yeah, but it's understandable. And I don't understand it. I said, look, dude, there's a quick way to deal with that. Once you've gone about 30 seconds and you realize a little time's gone by, said, hey, everybody, I apologize. I just need to think this through. That will almost immediately turn off the clock.
Just let people know. Yeah, I'll do that too. If I feel myself starting to tank for a little longer than normal, I'll usually just tell the table, hey, look, 20 more seconds.
It does two things to me. Number one, it acknowledges that you're not taking their time for granted.
Right.
Knowing what you're aware. Number two, there's almost somebody else always at the table says, no, go ahead, take your time.
Yeah.
And that makes that person that was thinking about calling the clock not do it.
Right.
So there's two sides of it that I think are really helpful. Just number one, be a good person and say, sorry about this, folks. I just got a bit of a hard decision here.
Yeah, put yourself in other people's shoes a little bit, but I totally agree. I think maybe the most important part of that, like you said, is just having the courtesy and acknowledgement of the fact that you're taking a little extra time. People will appreciate that and be a little more gracious with you.
Yeah. And then when you get that person that says,
All right,
"No,
for
no,
this
no,
hand, we can't be on the team.
you're good."
I think I've had the clock called on me one time ever. It was in a 2-5 cash game. But I think the guy was actually kind of a poker buddy of mine. I think he did it kind of half jokingly.
Yeah, I've had it called on me jokingly sometimes.
Typically try to act reasonably
That's
quickly.
75,000.
I'll take that too.
Well, this is
We're gonna pick your head and shake your 75.
Yeah, pair of five is good for TM on a board that does not favor a pair of fives.
75,000, why not?
Why not? Four check.
TM will take that one down.
I knew you were trapping me.
And that gentleman, stack is up over the 8K mark. What a night for TM, following up a big win on Monday on stream as well.
You could definitely negotiate lower, man. That's just his opening price. That's his opening price.
Don't take the first offer.
Yeah, don't take the first.
Come back with like a low ball.
Hey, you guys can meet at like 2. How about 2,000?
I believe he is up around 5K this week between 2 streams.
1K from you, 1K from me.
No, I think we all raise like 100 and we give you 1,000 bucks.
More like y'all raise 1,000 each.
Raise.
I'll take 8,000 maybe. Raise 25. I'd consider it. And 5
I think I'll find a girl. I can take a girl.
That wasn't too much of enthusiasm. Like my hand didn't want to.
You gotta sleep with her.
I'm gonna be a tail.
Hard. Terrible.
Hey, did you see my hand didn't want to let go?
You say go $500. So you don't need to sleep with her.
Probably some tail.
So you put it on your
You're gonna, what is that?
You get him drunk.
Samson from the Bible?
Somewhat modest holdings.
2 checks.
25.
Pretty wet board here. A couple of spades, jack high.
25.
Steady with just a pair of 10s and a backdoor flush draw has the best hand.
I can nap.
Oh, I thought you were getting serious now.
No, I don't.
And that's not yet going to be good enough to take it down. Kevin does call with his 6s. And now has a flush draw. And king on the river. Steady, still good. He checks back and will take it down.
Here you go, Jesse.
Pretty good pair, or pretty good result with just a pair of 10s on that run out for Mr. Steady Eddie.
Oh, did you tell?
Yeah, recently. I mean, because I would have been like, I would have hung around for one more not insane tournament.
Yeah, I just bet you on the
Yeah, that kind of day.
Yeah. You check and I bet, one something.
Oh my god, really?
Wait, I feel like you got like three
No, on the turn.
Oh, yeah.
On the flop, I bet, I didn't know where you were at. I didn't know which one y'all had to diamond. If y'all had a diamond. So on the flop,
JY with ace king.
20 seconds.
He will 3-bet to 200 and quite a few quick folds here. Dante, the initial raiser.
What are you drinking, man?
Action back to him. He will make the call.
What is it, whiskey?
JY also with the positional advantage and trips for JY. Dante checks over quickly.
Yeah.
JY has him drawing nearly dead and Dante out of there pretty quick.
So you made 100.
Bump up.
I blacked out 100. And then
Take it.
you tank the flop. And then check. And then I bet 300 to the top. Then I go 40. You fold, and then you fold in like 10 seconds. And then turn came 60 plus. And you
Yeah, it's like 225. Yeah.
On to hand 81. We'll be with you guys just under 30 more minutes or so. This will be a bomb pot. Bet shot to a royal flush for Steady.
Oh.
Set of kings for Dante. Does anyone have a 7 here? 7-7 deuce on the top board. And Dante, oh, he actually has the 7. Set of kings and huge flop here for Dante. Dante will raise and get a call from Steady. Steady's
Denver?
gonna make a flush on the top.
How many points are you gonna give?
Final 7 comes out on the bottom board, and
25.
to a river here, and we'll have a chop pot, assuming nobody folds.
10.5. I check.
That was when it was 0-0.
Check, check, and Dante and Steady will chop this one up.
You want Denver plus 20? It's 26 right now. It's 26.
I thought it was a 3, not a 4.
Let's go for the royal flush.
Dante a little unlucky not to
64 to
scoop
38.
that one, but such are bomb pots.
I don't remember.
Let's make a decision at halftime. We can adjust the spread. We can adjust the spread. We can adjust the spread. Surprise me. We can make a decision like 10 or 15.
What happened? You missed that?
You don't want 20?
Oh, I missed
You
it.
said you wanted 20. I'll give you 20 right now.
Again, I could bet that vote, and it wasn't a vote. It was just a 7.
I thought they were closer.
I had a 7 too.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
I had a 7. There's 3 7s out there.
Last week I had 2 7s. Roll.
Can we get a round of research, Jesse?
Sure. They do it what?
You asked for one earlier, man.
We never got it. He snubbed us.
Well, why would he give you one now?
Because I have nights after 3. No kidding. I see that all the time. Yeah. It's right here.
Thank you.
There's a real hand, TM. King, queen off. He'll make it 75. Try to fold out some of the junk. It's a call from Caleb with Jack 8 suited.
You know the one on Monday wasn't right.
You probably have the lowest today.
Yeah.
King 10 5, top pair for
Something wrong
TM.
with the system. They kept on resetting the system like
Well ahead. He'll bet it, and
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, every hour.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had to reset because we got.
Okay, so they never gave you the total.
Caleb
you
would
bet, they
need
only gave you
quite a
the-
bit of help here to make a hand.
One thing that was hung up was first, second, third,
And he agrees and is out of there.
by 7, 8, 9. So 9 pays 100, 8 pays
100.
75.
So someone's got to keep track of that, right?
7 pays 50.
So 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, yeah. 7, 8, 9.
B-Pips, unsurprisingly, any leading the way, 63% Dante, 53, TM 42, Steady 40, Benji,
Oh, that's too
and
much.
Kevin at the bottom of the list, 23 and 28.
Booted off and the
respectively.
100? Man, that's too big of a bet.
6, 53. 3, 42. C5, 40. 9, 36. 132.
Single digit 6.
731.
Nobody's
228.
What do you say?
423.
That's pretty fucking high.
$25 straddle on. Looks like we have a raise from Manny. He's got the beautiful 10-jack suited, and TM's in there with a pair of 7s.
Is it beautiful or is it scary?
I feel like it's beautiful because you typically don't get yourself in a ton of trouble with it, but you can make some huge hands. I feel like ace queen is scarier, pocket jacks are scarier.
And flopped really strongly into a very, very low board. 7s feel good and jack 10 feels real good.
Yeah, Manny actually ahead here with 2 overs in the flush draw versus TM pair of
I'll give you
7s.
100 to 1 that it's you.
Yeah, I can't put up a big disagreement. With
TM does have the 7 of spades.
I heard mine. Did you hear yours?
5 of spades would be really, really tasty.
You said the lowest was 23.
Ooh.
I was wondering if that's
So now, gut shot.
Does that
That's
mean
probably, I've
Full
been so
ahead.
hard
You
this
see how
year.
the equity's
Unless it's
completely
him, it could be him
shifted.
too.
Probably me.
But it's probably him.
No, C4 has the lowest speed.
Oh, really? Who has the highest?
Manny's going to keep on betting.
What's the second lowest?
I believe that was Kevin.
How are you? Oh, shit.
Give me your stack.
what?
Oh, I didn't say.
Do you know what mine was?
TM will flat here, needs to fade a
Now that
spade.
you were so confident.
10,
I was
a
confident.
jack.
But then I remember you limped a bunch of hands, so.
And a complete blank.
Saved by the limb.
Although 7s may have a little bit of pause. Looks like he's going to go check, check.
Flying under the radar over there.
I think Manny's the only way he can win is if he bluffs at this, and he's going to make it 500. And that's an unfortunate card for TM because Manny could have had an ace X of spades.
Really good
Made top
recognition
pair.
of what Terry's
No, but
range
for him
is here
tonight, I feel
for
like he's been,
Manny.
hasn't been playing a lot.
Let's see if Manny, he's made one wonderful call tonight. This is even tougher, I think. Maybe about the same level.
What's mine?
Based on history, I leaning toward call here, but problem is a lot of the hands that Manny would have been semi-bluffing with include an ace.
I'm above 28. What am I?
So $1,400 in the pot before this bet. Terry's running through in his mind how many times does he have to be ahead here,
Wow.
or,
What are you so excited
or
about?
Feeling loose
make this
today.
value.
And he's getting 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Look at
He's gotta be
he's
right
on
tonight
there.
at any time.
Yep.
At 40, I'm over. What about Dallas here?
22.
I'm at 23.
This is a
So
tough
hard
guy to
today.
bluff.
I'm card dead too, but I get anxious.
Kevin's right though. I've been kind of just trying to see.
Oh, a face card.
He decided to go ahead and call.
I tried
I mean, if it was suited,
Hesitated?
you know, but
see a flop.
I think he's going to make the call.
Yeah, it has been a very slow game. Very
It's been kind of slow.
Boy, he's such a heart pounder
very.
when you're bluffing. You
Kings
see
versus
your
Blues.
opponent
Yep.
reach over and grab calling chips.
Good call.
And another great call by
Second.
TM.
2 best calls of the night. Really good call.
And TM closing in on the 5-figure stack mark. He's up huge between today and Monday. What a night for TM.
Yeah, the 2 big winners on Monday and Wednesday night facing off in that hand.
It's hard to make a pair.
Manny read it great, made a great bet. Terry made a great call. No fault either side.
This is a good game going on.
Why are you going so insane, dude? 150?
Would like to get in TM's head there, but I assume the hand he was most worried about was ace X of spades.
Got to be it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I think
I've
it's just
had,
getting
like, the
a
same-
little too good odds
Probably like 15 times.
to lay that one down.
And they're ranking pretty high. You can't-
Look at Terry's face right
Yeah,
now.
if he raises less, I can't do it.
When he lost that hand, exact same face. You are not getting anything out of that dude. Because we have a diamond draw for Dante, middle pair for TM, and not anything for Manny, but he does act on it. Terry's going to call with middle pair. Dante's going to call with the diamond draw. Don't know what that card is yet. A heart. 2 pair for TM. That's got to make him feel good. Manny bets it again with his gut shot to the queen.
I think, he check and then TM bet this one. So,
okay.
Manny sometimes tough with the camera angles. Manny makes the call.
And the hearts get there. See if it is backdoor. It's just a little harder to believe.
Well, I've learned
for Terry. I think after that last hand, Manny may be motivated to make another stab at it. Same size pot.
I can actually look at it and
TM just rips it.
Hoping that he has an ace, but he doesn't. So we'll start the countdown.
Wow.
Nope, didn't need the countdown.
Nice hand, Terry.
TM.
Dude, what, I mean, that,
And TM up 5.5K. Next closest is Steady Eddie up $900.
Yeah,
it's been a very dominant night for TM.
I was about to call too. I was just like,
What?
under the gun's so big. I'm like, either it's very polarized.
He said it to everybody.
I didn't hear anything.
What'd you say? I wasn't listening.
He said he's gonna bluff from here on.
Thanks.
But don't tell nobody.
Y'all telling us that Terrible is actually his name from his hometown.
Oh,
Terrible TM. Where's his hometown? I don't think I know. I always call him Scary Terry because my daughter got me addicted to Rick and Morty. Where is he from?
What do you think this line's for, man?
Working. I have bad memory.
JY, top pair. And a king on the turn is going to put Dante into the lead.
I think the over's going to hit Mike. Yeah, me too.
Also a pair for Caleb.
Gut shot to the 10 for Steady.
Yeah.
110 already gone. Dante's hand, as you can see. Okay, so our graphics are trying to catch up here. We did have a king on the turn. And a jack.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I think someone's trapping me.
JY would have got there.
Ace queen.
Like, someone has at least a king. It's not bad.
Yeah, but...
I thought someone had
Dante will take this one down.
And that jack lands, right? And for 4 people, somebody's got
Dante pretty quiet tonight.
I was about to raise the
Too
turn.
many
And I was
hands.
like, wait a second. Someone has to have a king. Yeah, of course.
Still in the red a little bit, I believe.
in that kind of a game.
Yep. Well, that's right. He's had some. He's a New Englander. Wow, that's a big territory. So let me guess here. New England.
Let's do a flip.
I did not know that.
That usually means people usually say they're a New Yorker if they're a New Yorker. So we'll take that big state out of New England. So Maine, New Hampshire,
First
Vermont,
guess is
Rhode
Boston.
Island. Massachusetts is a good guess, but I haven't. You know, it's hard with Boston. They almost always have an accent, and I haven't picked up on Terry's having a Boston accent.
Not at all.
So I'm going to say it's someplace with a fairly neutral accent, like Vermont, maybe Connecticut.
I can't even
Come on, I finally got a good hand.
Grandma, before
I would have called
y'all
for something
tell
like
us
that.
like
Like,
this.
between 5
Yeah,
and
you're right about the accent. Unless he moved from there when he was very young.
Oh,
I was going to say I have to stick with the biggest city of
Massachusetts.
maybe not Boston, but is it Boston or non-Boston,
Oh, wait a second. Didn't
Massachusetts.
she say at the beginning that the straddle should count for the VPIP, right?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Never
but I mean,
has.
it
I'm going to
should,
say he's
'cause-
from Bedford.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. You're a blind.
At least I've been
technically,
to.
so it's not voluntarily.
Yeah.
And
Because then mine would be way higher because I've straddled every hand that.
So yeah, that works against your V pick. But
Couple of
it's, you know,
sixes
just
here
a
from
game.
Mike.
Massachusetts.
I just think God
It's a weird
And
slow
Benji
Yeah.
with the ladies.
not like we.
Sixes, fives, Uncle T's favorite small pair.
I've been nuts.
Nothing to work.
Sure.
Love it when I talk in third person.
Like
Let's see if we get our second set in the night.
Yeah, let's see a doggy in the window. I want to see that 5 in the window for Steady Eddie.
How about Queen 6-5 on this flop?
Not loving.
You have a vicious.
That is a little vicious.
Oh, I thought I had it there for a second. It was a 4.
Check.
Instead, it's King High. Queen still in the lead here.
Check.
5 ways, though, for Benji. Hate that overcard. Another 8
Check.
queens.
See if anybody reps the 8.
Well in the lead.
Mike is going to rep the 8. Actually, he's probably feeling
Yeah, he
pretty
may
good
think
about
sixes are good after it checks around.
So hard with this many people in the plot in the pot.
Yeah,
Western
Benji's-
Mass, as we like to call it.
Are you?
All right. Hope that's not like West Texas.
All right.
That's a.
Spin a reel.
Don't know what
Mystery
that last
River.
card- Yeah, don't know what that is yet.
That's a pretty good board for Thomas. Yeah. I mean, that's
Apologize, folks. We'll get caught up in a moment. Three on the river.
Are you like, does he read that as like you're floating with
Changes nothing.
three streets?
It's like Mike has checked over to Benji. And Benji,
Queens.
going for some value on this river. Gets a call. Great value bet by Benji.
Yeah.
It's going to win him an additional $200.
King of
And 2 8s.
yeah. I folded 5.
Well, folks, we are winding down. Just a couple hands left. I think we've got 3 hands left in our live stream. Want to thank y'all. This is TCH Social Live in Austin. 5-5 Wednesday night game. Good group tonight. Some really interesting hands. Some great calls.
Is anyone
some
playing
coolers,
after the stream ends?
just everything we want. If this was a baseball game, I'd say this was about a
Okay.
7-5 score.
Okay, then we're all playing.
With our Monday night being like a 12-10 score.
Yeah, that's a
Lot of offense.
good analogy for both. Yeah, just a couple of big coolers tonight.
Is it 25?
Is it 25? 25.
Couple of come from behinds.
Yeah, Benji, after winning that last pot, actually gets him up over 1K and from a 2K deficit early on. So
Yeah, great comeback.
yeah,
Ace King for Mike. Mike's one to end it with a bang. Does not raise.
6 ways to a flop. Mike, top pair, top kicker. Gonna
Gut
be
shots.
pretty
for,
disguised.
Yeah,
also,
gut shots for JY and for Kevin. Have each other's outs.
Caleb's going to bet his 9 and doesn't know it, but he does not want to make 2 pair here.
Nope. He does
But
get a club.
He
block.
would like that club, so
Yep. Definite improvement.
a few more outs, and he's going to keep the pressure up. And it looks like Mike's strongly considering folding the best hand.
How many hands do you think we played today?
Does.
85.
Let's it go.
Wow.
Nice play by
Really
Caleb.
good.
Yeah,
That's
Barber
a good
Barber
guess.
did a little
That's a good
shave in
guess.
there.
Probably like close to 100.
No, that's no good. Close to 100 is.
Definitely not 100.
You got to say, huh?
What about
Yeah, heck yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like it.
It's about.
Folks, one last little reminder.
I don't think we hit 100.
Get on hijack.
We didn't hit 100.
I wanted to play
Meet up
earlier.
with Ramo
we're not gonna play
tonight
it on
from
the
the
stream.
Midnight Madness. What is the payout?
Midnight Madness tournament. It's $11 buy-in.
I guess the
turbo.
How much does it pay?
89.
I think
I don't know if there's a guarantee on it, but typically it goes quick. It's a smaller prize pool. Usually first is around $200.
Nice.
But something I like to do, sitting on my couch watching a little TV before heading to bed.
Do you have a dog?
I do.
You do. What's her name?
Waylon. It's
Oh,
a
that's what I
chocolate
said.
lab. Sorry?
He?
He.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think you named it. Yeah, there's nothing like a chocolate lab and a black lab.
And he's usually next to me while I'm playing.
Yeah,
Midnight
probably
Madness.
on top of you.
Are you guys playing after the stream ends?
I know I can't play poker without my tuxedo cat sitting on my chest. I'm playing online.
Top pair for Kevin. Just a couple eights with a 7 kicker.
You had my queen.
All
Looks
right.
like
We're coming on our last hand of the night. Again, we want to thank all of you. Thank you to our dealers, Tristan and Dan. Thank you to our queen of the live stream, Kristen. And to all of you that were with us tonight.
Had it twice. I won with it once.
thanks to Michael for the super chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you who
And good
chimed
questions, good comments.
in a positive way.
And I almost got to ban somebody, which is always entertaining.
You are?
Do appreciate all of you. We'll be back next week for another 5-5 game, and then a reminder that on the 21st we will be playing an all-ladies game, the ladies live.
If I had jammed the river, then it would have been
We'll
big.
be here. The two Brittany's, Brittany 1, Brittany 2.
That might get you away from
Samantha will be on board.
I
I
know.
think
You have like
Jeannie,
1500
Jessica,
back,
we've
right?
got quite a
After
few.
calling the 1,000.
If you'd like to play that, I think I think are open
No, on
or
the
at least
river after
undecided.
calling. It's
You're
like
one of the ladies that would like to come play, let me know.
Checks around quickly to a turn. Let's see.
Looks like ace deuce is, no, ace 7 on the bottom. Yeah. And that's what JY has on the top. The 7-8 is the best hand, but I don't see that anybody's got that.
Yeah, boat for JY on the
Yeah.
bottom, and Steady's good on top with.
JY's got a 10. No friend.
Steady's got 10. 6
too
is
peaceful.
Yeah.
the boat on top.
So we're looking at boat. Yeah, boat.
Steady's made a lot of his living tonight in these bomb bots. It's like you should get half once more.
Do we have a boat on the bottom?
Are you gonna play?
Steady has 10s full
On the top.
and JY has aces full.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 7s full of
Sevens
aces.
Yeah, 7 deuce. Yeah. Not something you want to bet on either hand.
Yeah, nobody else would be left, so they'll chop up.
Actually, 10-6
Small.
was the nut boat. Yeah.
And 8
Because the 5-4 were the lowest. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We will be back with you next Wednesday.
Yep.
With more poker. Thanks to all of you who joined us Monday as well as tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks again, everyone who has chatted. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll be back with you next week. I'm Kyle Frisbee. He's Uncle T. This has been TCH Live from Austin, Texas.
Good
Have
night.
a great night.